was divided and without a king. Out of those lost centuries rose a legend of the sorcerer Merlin, of the coming of a king, of the sword of power. Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Movie Watch Live, to a very special episode of Movie Watch Live. Tonight, we're celebrating our 2,000 subscribers that we now have on the channel, so it's a big occasion. This show is not only a celebration of 2,000 subscribers, but also a thank you to everybody who's been part of this show, including everybody who's joined in, contributed, been a co-host, guest, in the chat, everyone who's been part of this channel. And those people are all here tonight in the show itself. And we're celebrating with a movie which was the first movie that we ever did on this channel, which was Excalibur from 1981, which also ties in nicely with the season of movies we're doing right now, which is 40-year anniversaries. So movies of 1981, a big, big movie. I won't get into a Trump impersonation on that, don't worry. Yes, the Excalibur movie from 1981, which is an incredible fantasy medieval epic, and it stars a whole host of incredibly famous actors. It was co-written by Rospo Pallenberg and Boorman, famous director who helmed this film. And it's based upon the 15th century Arthurian romance that some people might be familiar with, Le Morte d'Arthur, which was written by Thomas Mallory. And it centers on... Yes.
Oh, sorry.
So it centers on Merlin, the magician, who helps Arthur, Pendragon, to unite the Britons together around the Round Table of Camelot, even as dark forces conspire to tear it apart.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Are you saying he was the king of the Britons?
He was, and legend has it he will return one day when we most need him, and goodness knows we need him now. So the cast...
Anybody got a set of coconut shells I can borrow? Sorry.
Yes, under the dorsal, right. Under the dorsal feathers.
Okay, gotcha.
So, very quickly, the cast includes Nigel Terry as Arthur, Nicole Williamson as Merlin, Nicholas Clay as Lancelot, Sherry Lungi as Guinevere, and Helen Mirren as Morgana, and a whole host of others, including Patrick Stewart, who plays Leon de Grants. And joining me tonight, a very host of the very best in the world of YouTube. In fact, we actually have a round table. No, we don't actually. Let's not get into round tables. But Ralph joins me first of all as Ralph Dredd, and yes. I like the armor. I love the well, it covers everything but the mouth, so it's definitely safe.
Well, that and I felt like the male pattern baldness cut to the armor was important. I lead my army. I call them the smorgasbord of spaz. So we're out to conquer North Texas trailer parks from here to yonder.
I like the way you've left space for the for the hair.
No, those implants have to come in somewhere.
And yes, orange is very important because that indicates that you're evil, apparently.
Well, what can you say? Gingers have no soul.
Yeah, so I've heard. And tonight as well, we have Tony Leodegrance, who is obviously starring as Patrick Stewart's character tonight. Tony joins us all the way from the land down under. G'day. How you doing, Connor?
I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on board.
It's great to have you here, Tony. And, it's been tremendous to have you in the chat. And, you've made some of the shows 10 times, the ones that you've been on, because obviously the ones you haven't been on, you can't help that. But the ones you've been on, you've made the whole show 10 times better. And it's great to have you here tonight. So I forgot to ask Ralph if you'd seen this movie. We'll come back to that in a minute. But have you seen this movie before, Tony? Any opinion about it?
I have very long time ago. It was one that I saw when I was in boarding school. It was like the movie of the weekend that was rented for us. And yeah, it was beautifully shot and very long.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a very long time. Like when this was chosen, I was like, oh wow, you picked a movie that I know very little about off the top of my head. So it's going to be fun to rewatch it.
It's one of those movies that goes down the memory hole for a lot of people, but it's also one of the best ever fantasy movies ever made. It really is. It's arguably one of the top 10.
Well, and it's got sexy Helen Mirren in there.
Yes,
so you can get all tingly in your no zone. So
yes. And
a lady present.
Yes. Don't forget
your own mother.
Yes, Helen Mirrenov, by the way, because she was from Russian. We'll go into that later on, but very quickly, she was from Russian aristocracy.
Ooh.
She's had a very checkered life, and she's got a very interesting past, her family history and everything. Spies, and royalists, and all sorts of things.
Well, let me borrow from Petey Wheatstraw and go with something like, perestroika, baby.
Yeah.
No, actually, that's not Petey Wheatstraw, but okay, you get the idea.
Glasnost. That's the only words I know in Russian. And spasiba, which is thank you, and da and yet. And it's enough to get by, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
do it.
Yeah. But I'm not going to say anything about having to learn from the little red book from Stalin, given the way things have been recently. But let's not go there.
Yeah. We'll leave that alone.
Yes, exactly. So also joining
the biggest books, the best books ever.
We've got the best things. We've got the best. Our books would be better if we did that book. It would be better. Space Wars.
Ours are pop-up books. They're the best pop-up books ever.
That's a great
and tonight joining us is Sir Flash of Elrodshire, and that's actually the Arthur comic book, isn't it? Elrod, it's
Prince Valium. Yeah,
yes.
I did my hair for this show.
Ooh,
very nice. I'm liking the bob. And you've seen this movie many times, haven't you, Aaron?
Oh yeah. It's required reading in my school.
Yeah, and it's you've already made a couple of observations before the show about some of the characters, which was fascinating because it's such a well done version of the story, because nothing's going to be totally accurate to the book, but it's so well done that some of the characters are really well developed, and we'll come to that later in a moment. But we're going to move on now to Morgana LeKay, who, as you all know, Cosmetti, who is normally in the chat, but tonight, as a special occasion, she's agreed to be on the show, and like Tony, joins us frequently in the chat, and she is famous in her own right throughout YouTubedom, and apparently so.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So, and you've told me already, Cosmetti, that you really like this movie. You've seen it so many times. It's one of your favorite movies.
I've seen this movie a ridiculous number of times.
And what is it that really, what's the stayability? What is it about this movie that keeps that is evergreen?
It's just, I don't know. It's just one of those movies. Everything about it, it's very poetic, and the great cast, it's fantastic, and it's Arthurian. It's King Arthur. I love that story.
Yeah,
it's one of the best versions, if not the best version that I've seen on film of the story of King Arthur.
I have to disagree with you. Monty Python did a
I knew you were going to
good job.
I knew that would come up.
And everything in there. Come on.
Beautifully filmed. It's really well done. I just like it. There's just certain movies that I just don't get tired of.
Yeah, well, this is definitely one I don't get tired of either, and there are some strange moments in it because Borman was a fantastic director. Well, he's still alive, but fantastic director. But he did some weird stuff as well. Don't forget that it was Borman who also did Zardoz. Okay, which we will do on this channel at some stage because we've got to see Sean Connery in a codpiece.
Oh, please don't make me wear that outfit, Pete.
Well, you say that, and you don't realize what I'm wearing right now. So anyway,
The red diaper.
Oh yes, I've got a diaper and a revolver.
It's creeping up in the wrong places.
My diaper and my revolver are both fully loaded too.
Yes. Oh dear. And on that note, let's say hello to Matt Caliber, who joins us as a hybrid between Liam Neeson, who plays Sir Gawain in the movie, and his character from his comic book, Kiri.
Yeah, this movie, I've heard about it. It came out, I don't know, somehow I just passed it in the Blockbuster aisle in the 90s, and I think I confused it with Legend and a few others that came out in the early 80s. And so I don't think I've ever seen it other than the clips.
Wow. It blows me away. I guess because I've seen it so many times, it always blows me away that someone hasn't seen it.
Well, the original cover and poster to this and Legend are very similar.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was used as the inspiration for a lot of movies. Definitely, it's really 1981 was such a good movie. It was such a good year for movies. I keep saying it, but it was, and a lot of these movies became VHS rental a few years later. But I remember being a teenager and I watched this in the late 80s, and it was just like, wow, this is really good, because I was into Dungeons and Dragons and I was into all that kind of stuff, and I was a nerd, and this is like top draw. This is a top draw, medieval fantasy movie. It was just so good, so well produced, and I mean, obviously, the era that the story's set in is not the classic 12th, 13th century era. So this is based on Thomas Mallory, who wrote the story as if it was based in the 12th or 13th century. So all the armor and arms and everything is all classic 12th, 13th century stuff. But really, its origins are a lot earlier than that. It's a Romano-Celtic story. And so its origins are a lot earlier than that. But sorry, go ahead, Rob.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on you.
No, it's fine.
I was going to say, it's funny you brought up Dungeons and Dragons because, with that being, I don't know about Britain and Australia, but in the US through the 80s, Dungeons and Dragons was very popular.
Huge.
So, whenever you see a fantasy movie resurgence, with the exception of Beastmaster, which was just purely pushed through HBO alone, and WGN afternoons on Saturday, a lot of them were brought out because of the interest in fantasy, specifically because of Dungeons and Dragons. So
D&D is huge in Australia. It's massive.
Okay, yeah. All
that's how I heard of this movie. Was all the D&D kids like, you haven't seen Excalibur? Are you crazy?
The retainer goes flying across the room. I can't believe
Cast thee out.
Blasphemy!
Get him out of the rec room. He's permanently banned.
We're listening to Halloween and watching Excalibur and rolling 20s.
Oh, goodness me.
I've never played D&D.
No, well...
Okay, kicker.
Yeah.
Even I've
How
played
did you even
D&D.
get in here?
How do you not know Gary Gygax?
I bet she doesn't even know what an 8-sided dice looks like.
No, we forgive you. You are not ancient like some of us.
Yeah.
Right. So, talking about ancientness, let's get into the story. So, as usual, we all have our own copies of the movie, and just to let everybody who's watching recorded or might be watching right now live, that this is a commentary channel, that we don't actually play the movie. You have to have your own copy of the movie, but obviously, if you want to listen to us and you want to join in, or you want to get an inside story on what the movie is about, and all of the trivia and all of the opinions we have, this is a channel for you. And of course, some people like it because we've got over 2,000 people who clicked the bell, which means YouTube won't send them notifications. So
I blame Susan.
Yes, sorry, Susan. If you're listening, Susan, we love you. And just keep adding us to your algorithm wherever that is.
China's the best.
Yes, absolutely.
China number one.
China number one. And also, at this moment in time, I am holding the reins of an invisible pony. Just wanted to say that.
Sorry,
but I'm not going to say the words.
Yeah, don't say the words.
Person who was the driver and the thing, because that alone is enough to get
the thing,
nuked.
That thing.
So we're not going there.
Corn Pop is not in the audience.
No. So what we're going to do is we're all going to synchronize our copy of the movie. What that means is you will be able to, at home, join in because we'll give you timestamps throughout. And what that means is that we will be commenting on the movie and talking about what's going on. And you will know where we are, but we all synchronize our copies together. And we do that with this handy little boomer-proof video that I've got, which is flashy lights and some arrows at the end of it. So it's a countdown from 3, 2, 1. And when you see the arrows at the end, that's your cue to press play, which for me means not press play and screw it all up as usual.
Well, the whole fact that it's boomer-proof is specifically for me. So,
Well, it's definitely
more complicated than usual.
It's funny when you're actually
you put that in writing. You lost me.
Yeah. You know what it is? I think it's the insurance training rubbing off on me. I've been learning a bit of subrogation and indemnity this week. So let's not go there because I think we've lost the 2 kittens that were watching the show. the 2 kittens and the duck or whatever. Right, so everybody ready with your copies? We're going to start right now, and I'll get the countdown started. Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Right, so
I managed to press the play button.
Yes, and my copy is about 20 minutes in for some reason.
Oh, great. Well, I am just now coming up to the Orion logo.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Orion Pictures release through Warner
Every
Brothers.
time I see that, I think of RoboCop.
Me too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well,
100%.
Merlin's costume is a little bit RoboCop-y.
Oh, that's
shiny.
true.
And the music you're hearing is Wagner, and it's Siegfried's Funeral March.
Ooh.
Note to filmmakers: classical music is free.
And
Save about $20 million on your budget. Use classical music.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go.
And of course, there's a similarity between Wagner, who based his stories on Arthur. The Ring Cycle is in it because there's a lot of shared myth between Britain and Germany. So, I think we're picking up some audio from. Flash of the movie.
That's not me.
Yeah. Somebody's got some audio on.
I've got my earphones in.
Because we'll just get wiped straight away if the audio is picked up.
Well, luckily it was Wagner, so they can't wipe that. But
yeah,
that's a good point.
It's when you hear the horses and the voices that they'll go up, and they'll
is
just
that the
take
wizard
it off.
Tim?
It is. And we've got
Merlin.
Yeah. So the opening scene is just to establish that, the country is at war with itself and it's chaos, essentially, because it starts off with this orange light, the fire, the warfare, and it actually ends in this way as well without giving too much away. So there's a cycle of
alerts.
Yeah. So it's the whole idea of chaos and then order. But
I guess it's 5,000 years old, so it's not really a spoiler, is it?
Not really. Yeah.
It's funny that the only thing I know about this movie, other than Liam Neeson, is that everyone has full plate armor all the time. And it's fun to see that confirmed in the opening.
Another thing you're going to see as well is how everybody's armor is like black and grimy, and oily and in a way primitive, and the weapons and the armor is primitive. But as we get
it's even ugly, like the face of the plates are like animals and
pigs and dogs and everything. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And
you know how you can tell the royals from the peasants, right?
And
but as things get better, the armor gets prettier.
Exactly,
shinier.
and we get this ideal
shiny.
Yeah, what was that, Tony?
It gets nice and shiny as it moves on.
Get the mirror
to the ideal state of Camelot. I've transferred over to using another copy because that one I was watching is not working.
Now, Merlin seems a lot like Gandalf. It's because he kind of is Gandalf.
Yeah.
And since Gandalf is based on him, and this version is kind of based on Gandalf because John Borman had worked for years on a Lord of the Rings adaptation. That never was filmed.
Didn't know that.
Wait a minute, I've got to say, a watery tart handing out
Which he should have directed it anyways, because this is how that book should have looked.
Yeah. Ralph's pointed out the watery tart handing out swords. That's no system of government.
Exactly.
Meet me at the river. We'll decide this election there.
Come and see. What is it? Come and see the violence in the system.
He's oppressing me.
How did I was a king? Because he's not covered in shit.
And I love that Excalibur never loses its polish through the whole movie. It always stands out.
Absolutely. We've already seen the green light. Yeah, and now you can see it in the water.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. So you saw it on the sword. You saw it's everywhere in the movie. So now it's on his armor, and it's on Uther's.
Yeah.
Uther is the father of Arthur, and so this goes back. The original story is based upon a Romano-Celtic myth, which is when the Romans left Britain was left to fend for itself. So we had trained soldiers left who fought off Angles and Saxons and all the rest of them. So that's where the origin of the movie comes from. But the as you quite rightly said, the green light is always there in the background. And if you've noticed as well, you talked about shiny armor, Tony. Have you noticed how Merlin's head armor is shiny? Yes. He indicates that he comes from a previous time. There's always this hint, like maybe Atlantean in a way, but there's this hint of lost knowledge because the Romans have left, and this is a dark age.
Oh, this is like the only version like filmed where they mention that Merlin is not human.
Mm-hmm.
Like the characters actually say it. But yeah, wherever magic is used, you'll see the green light.
Including here in this dance.
Interpretive dance.
Part.
Yeah, is this like a medieval strip club?
Yeah, this is Arthur's mum or mom.
This is like the hipster joint where you do interpretive dance.
Yeah, and it's actually played by Katrine Boerman. This is Igraine, who is the King of Cornwall's wife, so she's the Queen of Cornwall. And of course, Cornwall was supposed to be where Arthur was from because I went there once, a place called Tintagel, which is where they used to have Glastonbury and everything, the Glastonbury Festival around that area, even though it's probably closer to Glastonbury. But this is...
Well, they have a bridge there now, right? So you don't have to cross on the top of fog. Spoilers.
Yeah. Well, I had to go across this horrible rope bridge across like a 500-foot, well, like it seemed that high anyway. But it's a fascinating place. But it's supposed to be where the real Arthur lived. But yeah, Katrine Boerman here is, I think she's definitely related to the director. I don't know whether she's
the daughter. Yeah,
it's a daughter, isn't she? Yeah,
his son shows up later.
Yeah, his son's famous for riding around the world on a motorbike with Ewan McGregor. The long way round.
His daughter comes up again as the voice of the son.
That's right.
Yes.
When the son is like 12, it's actually her voice to make him more sinister.
Yes, absolutely. And it's interesting. And in fact, who did the voice for Mordred as a child? I'm not sure.
It was her.
Wow. That works and definitely works.
They wanted it to be more sinister, so they dubbed him over.
We are on top of the wall. Go away or I shall taunt you a second time.
Yeah. There's some of that.
Load the animal into the cowapult.
There's so many actors. This is the only other thing I know about this movie. There's a lot of actors that end up.
Gabriel Byrne. If you were a young guy that was an actor in Ireland in 1981, you were in this movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Does this come back to what we've noticed about all the other movies that filmed over in the UK or were UK productions where it's just everybody that happened to be standing around got pulled in? Hey,
casting, because casting directors are absolutely lazy as
they're
extremely lazy. But this is Corin Redgrave, the actor who plays.
He looks very familiar.
Well, not on the screen right now. We just missed him. But Corin Redgrave is the Duke of Cornwall, who's another one of the Redgrave family. Loads of them. They're all actors. And he was in Four Weddings, The Funeral, apparently. But this is obviously this is Merlin with Uther, and Merlin, as I said before, is played by Nicol Williamson. Fantastic actor. He's something you don't get these days is enunciation, and his enunciation, the way he speaks is he speaks like a serpent. The way that his words come out of his mouth is like it's as if they're charmed. You know, it's incredible.
Oh, and if you watch him in any movie, he steals the movie.
Absolutely, he was in Exorcist 3.
Pick for Merlin.
And Uther is played by, where are we now? Yes,
wasn't Merlin in a couple episodes of Columbo?
He was actually. He's an incredible actor. He wasn't in it a lot, but he was because he's mainly a stage actor. But he's an incredible actor. You can see these Stonehenge.
I remember him as a child as the voice of The Hobbit because he did the audiobook.
Oh, okay.
Oh, very cool.
Hey, I have a confession to make to the group since we're all here. I never made it all the way through Four Weddings and a Funeral.
You didn't get to the funeral?
Don't worry about that.
I think we were just about to get to the third wedding, and Mrs. Ralph and I looked at each other and we're like, "Nah, we're out."
Cool. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, even I couldn't be asked, to be honest. He's a bit wooden, isn't he? It's like someone's thrown a chair in the room. So So Uther is played by Gabriel Byrne, who was in End of Days and Usual Suspects.
End of Days.
End of Days. Everything. Yeah.
Got to blow up Santa
devil?
with a bazooka. Save the world.
Now, this scene here is really important for the movie because this is like a dream scene, as you were saying yourself, Flash, about he's not human, Merlin. And this is the famous bit where he says, "Look into the eyes of the serpent." So it's trying to say that, you know, well, the power of the earth, and he's summoning the dragon from the earth, and the power of nature. And this is where he produces an enchantment, as we know, that so because of completely selfish lust, Uther wants to have Igraine for himself. So, and there's a lot of biblical allusions here as well, because it's a bit like
David
the way
and Bathsheba, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And if you
Verily,
think about
my
it,
lady, thou needest thy digits.
Indeed, because if you think about it, Arthur is also a type of a King David as well. Very much a lot of that analogy going on. And so here he marches in and you get a meld of faces where he takes on the appearance through magic, the power of magic, takes on the appearance of the Duke of Cornwall so that he can make love to Lady Igraine. But you see the mist is key here, because you get this at the end of the movie as well, the mists, because it's like the whole power of the earth has been summoned, you know.
Yeah. Oh, we also get a cameo by the crew coming up soon as well. In Merlin's head.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't matter how great the movie is, there's always going to be an oopsie somewhere.
Well, when everything is mirror polished, you're going to see a lot of camera crew in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it didn't happen a lot more often, to be honest. I
only know of like really 2 scenes where it's noticeable. During the wedding, you can see the camera, and then the scene coming up when Merlin turns his head, you can see someone standing
in his helmet, in his shiny dome.
This is no Shark Exorcist, but they did their best.
So I'm just pouring out a nice bottle of London Stout right now. Ralph's got his scotch. Anybody else partaking or not? I don't think Tony is, because it's like breakfast time over there.
No.
It's like
the birds.
It's fine.
Tony's in the future, basically.
Yeah,
this child does have a
Sunday
terrible
morning
voice. My father's dead.
It's getting on to winter over there now, isn't it, Tony? It's like no, not winter. Sorry, you're going the other way around, aren't you? It's spring, isn't it? Yeah,
spring at the moment.
Spring, yeah.
This is one of the strangest sex scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is very, very weird. What timestamp have we got, everybody?
14 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't get to it yet. I remember this.
Oh yeah,
it is weird.
So this is the Daddy, you're going to wrestle.
It's like a kid in the room. And it's happening while we're getting a scene where the Duke of Cornwall's just died. He's being impaled. I don't know whether, because you've got to understand, Bowman is a total weirdo, right?
Obviously.
So. And then this fantastic line by Merlin, it's done, you know, the future has taken root in the past. Brilliant line, that. And it's like what Merlin is shown here not really as a good guy. You know, he's shown here as somebody who's using the circumstances to bring about what he wants, because he's really more part of the earth than anything else. In a way, it's like, I'm expecting Lucas to come along and say, I gave everybody the idea of, they stole the idea from the Jedi.
Oh, this is where midichlorians came from.
Chaotic neutral, almost, in a way.
Yeah. So Morgana.
Can we appreciate that he kept his full plate armor on for the
entire time?
I know. That's what makes it one of the most infamous scenes ever.
Oh, that's so
It has been
strange.
said
There
before.
was the reflection.
I can't make fun of this. Like they're doubling down so hard on the plate armor concept. It's kind of
Well, it's the
endearing.
romance of it. Like when you see
Yeah.
paintings of King Arthur, they're always in the full plate armor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though, it's like 500 years later that came along.
Yeah.
Or even if you're gonna make it 13th century, they're not gonna wear that for everything. But I kind of like that they are here.
I disagree. All of our children were sired while I was wearing full armor.
So,
You just unbutton
I'm inspired.
the
I really am.
That's the secret then, is it?
You get spring loaded in sections.
The armor a little bit.
Yeah.
I just want to remind everybody that there's a lady in the room. Okay.
Yes, and I'll have you know, I didn't take it any further because
I said that, and then I remember Kismetti's been around for many streams.
Well, if knights were able to use
knows
the
what she's
bathroom,
getting.
they were also able to do other things. Just
Yes,
saying.
they do have a trap
Very
door.
true.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Things can get cold though. Have you seen that suit of armor for King Henry VIII? My goodness.
That's
all I'm saying is
of
that's
metal.
how he sired so many children. It's unless it was the other way around, and that was just to make everybody think that,
Don't worry about me.
there you go.
I lived on an army base, so
I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm sure
yeah.
his armor maker was like, "I'm going to make the king look good, so he doesn't kill me."
Yeah,
He has
that's
a habit
what
of
I'm
killing
thinking.
people he likes.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, he just killed everybody, didn't he?
Check it out, king. This is how I see you. This is how people see you.
Yeah,
Don't kill me.
you think Henry VIII's going to turn and say it's a little loose in the cod piece? No, it's perfect fit.
I've just got the. I think I've got the. Oh yeah, this is the bit where Merlin comes back for the child, a little bit like a sort of Rumpelstiltskin type of character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And it's very, very dodgy. And again, it's a bit of a analogy to David, isn't it? Because his child with Bathsheba was taken away, wasn't it? So
yes, indeed. What is your favorite color?
Blue, no red.
Ah!
I'm trying to share this picture of. Let's have a look here.
Tim the Enchanter.
When did that come out? When did Holy Grail come out? Is that late 70s? Yeah.
Yeah, I got
the cynical 70s, and then it's funny you could do that, and then you make Excalibur a few years later. That's so
Can you see that?
Oh goodness!
Can you see that?
Yeah, he wasn't.
What the hell is going on there?
I guess that's good for writing. That's going to keep everything where you need it.
Okay, let's stop sharing that now.
Yeah.
So,
Holy Grail was 75.
1975 was the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
So like they fully, completely, perfectly deconstruct and lampoon the entire genre, and then they come back, and then the 80s,
and then they just knock it out of the park.
Yeah. We better fix this.
Did you hear what Morgana said there? Are you now the mother and the father?
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting line. There's a lot of these mic drop lines throughout the whole of the movie,
Yeah.
And here's the ambush of Uther.
Oh, you're way ahead of me.
What timestamp does everybody have?
19 minutes, 50 seconds.
All right, I've jumped ahead a little bit.
2020.
Yeah, I've jumped ahead a little bit. So I'll just pause a second. This scene where Uther fights, obviously, his last fight, very well done. And again, this is now another analogy where you've got Uther is like Saul, and Arthur is David. So Uther has been found wanting, and so he's now being deposed of, and the green light on his back as he falls into the muddy pool, and he's completely useless now, and
Oh, yeah.
I found it interesting. Wow. I was
Ambush.
watching a retrospective on this movie last night just to remind myself about it. That a lot of the fight scenes were just them just hacking at each other because the director was really lazy with the fight scenes. They got bored with them. So they just swung at each other, and it was like quite dangerous. But it looks really good because it looks like people trying to kill each other.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, I mean,
it's only a flesh wound.
Tis but a flesh wound.
Tis but a scratch.
That's some pretty good blood too. If I have to say
yeah, but it's the also now for the first time you're seeing that Excalibur is not an earthly weapon. It's
wow.
It's supernatural. It's got supernatural abilities, and it'll just cut through. It'll cut through, as Bricktop says in Snatch, cuts through bone like butter. Merlin, where are you? Call your dragon.
He's walking off. That's pretty good.
Yes. And you see how Merlin's just abandoning him. It's like he knows that this chapter of history is over. He knows the future.
Yeah.
You know? And so if he can't have it, nobody can have it. And obviously, there's an obvious analogy there of the sword as the male object and the earth as the female object, So there's... Because in a sense...
into the stone.
In a sense, humans are existing on the earth while the earth is seen to be eternal. But now and then there's a connection between earth and man in some of the imagery, So,
and the great thing is, the pain is real when these guys fall down because that's actual armor.
Absolutely, the green light again. And this is about 20 years later, and they've built an In-N-Out burger on the site of the...
Better In-N-Out than McDonald's.
Yeah. Can you believe there isn't a single gap anywhere on this?
Where's the Starbucks?
My God.
Well, the Starbucks there's one every other block. They've dialed it back a bit.
Yes.
How fun is that? The green light is like so.
Oh my gosh! Your Renaissance fair is broken out.
Yes.
Holy crap!
Good morning, me lord. How to pull the sword from the stone?
People without plate mail.
This is
Thou shalt pullest my finger.
This is a medieval mystery play on the background. You see, one of the pointless things I studied at university was medieval mystery plays. Got a job out of that. Not. So here we've got tests of strength, martial prowess, and the winner has the right to try and pull the sword from the stone. You can see the armor is starting to get more sophisticated. You can see the green light again.
Less poop on everybody.
Yep.
Patrick Stewart just wailing on people.
Yeah.
It's very surreal. It's
lights.
Like the light is always there in every shot. Just like you can feel it.
It's like they had a CRT monitor playing Oregon Trail the whole time.
Yeah.
Atomics.
Yes.
It's
very hot.
You brought up the medieval mystery plays or whatever it is. We could go back in American history, which lasts, in the worldwide existence about 5 minutes. So
but the point is, though, that American culture is also English culture, and British culture. It's the same. If you're from, if you're American, your history is not just your own country. If you're Australian, your history is not just your own country. It's also where your grandparents, great grandparents came from. So really, it's a shared mythology, isn't it?
Yeah, we are the inbred cousin of the British Empire.
So he has Leon de Grant or Tony, and he's trying to pull the sword. Tony, you're really yanking that thing.
Use your telepathy.
Number
Oh, it's
one.
not working.
Make it so.
Oh, that energy. Awesome to see.
Curse you, Q.
What's that musical meme where he's singing? Have you seen that one? Captain Picard. If I compare thee to a rose or something. I can't remember. But I'm waiting to see Liam at some point. But I love the. We've already Kismeti. I've got to say to Kismeti, they're not metallic yet, but we have fabric disco headbands.
Yeah.
Yes. Because Kismeti likes the disco headbands.
I do, yeah.
This is a perfect time to film a movie like this because it's like the end of the 70s where everybody had that dirty look.
Yeah. And the
dirty hair.
Thou shalt drop some E and lay some
like a Ren fair.
This is Nigel Terry as Arthur. He never really got many other roles.
He got typecast.
But the redhead guy with the beard.
Well, the guy who's running around now trying to find a sword.
The little like Mark Hamill lookalike.
Yes. That's
I love the way he tries to nick a sword then and thinks twice. And he thinks, "Oh, I'll steal the sword that people are actually using swords to fight each other to actually get that sword." But it shows his naivete, and it shows that he's pure of heart, and so he tries to. So I'm at 27, 28. Anybody else?
27,
46,
14.
Right.
15.
So we got this is the moment where that's a nice sword. I think I'll just show.
See a big green glowing thing up on the hill here. Let me.
I've got to say, as in history of movie swords, the Excalibur sword is beautiful.
It is. It
really is. Yeah.
Gorgeous piece of hardware.
Yeah.
Apparently
the circular pommel.
Still has it. He still owns it.
Oh, neat.
Well, before they make swords illegal, I'm determined to get a Norman broadsword.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, on that one, like you said, the pommel, the hand grip, the blade, everything is gorgeous on that.
The grip has like it's like a diamond, that diamond grid sort of. I don't know, there's something going on there.
The guy who plays the
it's a wire wrap. Yeah,
a wire. Yeah,
it's got a wire wrap on the grip.
The guy at the who's playing the old priest is
not a fun sword to hold barehanded.
No, I'm sure not. Yeah.
Sorry, Tony, the guy who's playing.
The guy's playing the sort of the priest character who's like whipping them with the herbs.
Oh yeah, the mistletoe. Yeah, he's a druid.
He looks exactly like the old priest from The Fifth Element. He tries to poison.
It's funny you should mention that.
I love that guy.
But that's something I like about 12 Monkeys, because it's the idea that you've got time travelers who go through time, and these are the mad prophets of the Middle Ages professing doom and that.
Yeah, that's a great theory. You could really expand on that.
There you go. He's pulled the sword. And the triumphant music there. There's loads of really good classical music in this movie. Wagner, Karloff, Tristan and Isolde.
That's
some
great.
Beautiful music.
One of the best scenes was when his brother's like, "No, I did it." Okay, yeah, it was Arthur.
Yeah.
I cannot tell a lie.
That was the quickest attack of conscience I've ever seen.
Yeah, but did you see how subtly, as soon as he pulled the sword, Merlin just appears from nowhere on the left-hand side? You don't even notice him until he's already walking towards them. It's like he knew the exact moment that was going to happen. He was already walking there for that exact moment.
Yeah, he had just come up on my my copy when you said that.
Yeah,
and that's a great point. Yeah, Merlin's just kind of pulling the strings behind the scenes. It's really that's a twist I hadn't looked at the Legend of Arthur about. We lost Kay.
Oh no.
She'll be back.
So this is where you have an immediate feud breaking out in a war between two different dukes.
Oh, that is cool. How Merlin is just kind of like wandering in the shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like almost like an extra.
Yeah, just walking away. Wait up.
So there you go.
It
So you got
amazes me how Nigel Terry ages in this movie, and it's so seamless.
It's so well done. It's so well done. And this bit where he runs off into the woods is supposed to be an allusion to Christ's days in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's logical. I could see that.
So Mordred is like the Antichrist, right? Because we only see him 3 times.
Yeah, that's right. So you have the Christ-like figure
first,
as
a 12-year-old, and then as a 30-year-old.
Yes, and then the one that follows him is the anti-version of him. Very much so. He's literally the anti-Arthur.
Yeah.
Because he was born to
make it so.
Engage.
So he is now, Merlin admits the truth to him. Arthur is directly linked to the land. So essentially, if whatever state of being he's in, the land is the same.
It gives a reason for the sword and the stone.
Sorry, Cosmetti.
The sword is part of the land.
I didn't notice you dropped out. Apologies there.
That makes sense. You know, and okay, Pete, you're going to have to do a check on Arthur's British accent there, because his sounded a lot more like my British accent when he was up there with Merlin.
There's a couple scenes where Arthur comes off very Irish.
Yeah, he's trying to do a bit of an Irish thing, but a lot of this myth is Welsh in origin, because the Welsh were one of the few people who were still Celtic at this point, because there's a big snack.
Snack.
Two snakes together.
Yeah,
I think they're stealing my Dagobah scene here. I'm gonna have a word with them.
Oh my gosh! Yes, exactly.
They don't understand the
We've even got he's going into the cave. He's gonna see Darth Vader. It literally does look right. I've got to say, they either stole from Lucas or Lucas. I'm going to say Lucas stole from this for Dagobah.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Before there were hobbits,
the guy just. Yeah, he looks just like Mark Hamill. He's on Dagobah.
He's looking more and more like Hamill all the time.
I'm just waiting for Merlin to jump up.
It's literally scene for scene, exactly the same. The lizard and everything.
Yes.
Yeah, just random bugs from the creature shop.
Lucas is just a total thief. So
Merlin doesn't steal his soup.
No.
Yeah.
So, Cosmetti, what do you think of Merlin's? I've got to say, Cosmetti saw. You need some ivermectin there, mate.
Yeah,
bad. And I love the comedic way he plays it as well, because he's trying to show him there's a lot more of that knowledge in the world and fantastic things that you don't know anything about. And that's that line from Shakespeare, which is from The Tempest. Or is it? I'm not sure. I think it might be from Hamlet. Sorry. There's more things in heaven and earth that have been dreamed of in your philosophy.
I think that's, isn't that Mercutio? I think that's,
yes.
That's Shakespeare, yeah.
Yeah.
But Cosmetti's actually seen Merlin's coat in the flesh.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
that's still around, that old rag? Wow.
This was a while ago. It isn't this one. It's one he wears later in the film.
Yeah, you all are talking about
if it wasn't rented out to other movies, a lot of it still exists.
Y'all are talking about Shakespeare and stuff. I'm barely through Dean Koontz.
Well, says 'tis Dean Koontz and mysteries.
This is so surreal. Like he runs,
Can you see how there's also a similarity between Merlin and Treebeard the End?
And
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry,
it's all happening in the woods, and it's pardon. I didn't mean it that way.
You saying Merlin's a Cosby?
No. But yeah, I mean, he is definitely the Samuel character, isn't he? He's the Samuel to the David, and
He could be the Samuel L. Jackson to say what one more time, King.
Oh, this is the siege on your castle, Tony.
This scene is fantastic coming up. This is one of the best siege scenes ever. I'm sounding like Trump again. Better than any other siege scene.
We've got the sieges.
We do sieges. We siege better than anybody else's sieges, okay? Forget about sieging us. We're going to siege you.
Siege them by the castle.
And this beautiful piece of music by Karloff, it's the Carmina Burana by Karloff. And it's a bit of music based on the seasons, and it comes back later in the movie as well. It's like a victory tune for Arthur.
Does it go like this? Dun, 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 dun,
And it was,
dun.
yeah, it was also used in the Old Spice advert where they were shooting the tube. Shooting the tube right through. Old Spice.
I was going to point out, you were bringing up the Irish thing that they had going on. They did film in Ireland.
Was it filmed in?
It was filmed in Ireland, so they got all these Irish actors.
I always like that scene where Merlin talks to the horses, and they just it's like he is really not a human. Like
and there's definitely I see where you're going with all the Merlin being at touch with the world and a part of the
he's got all of the hidden knowledge that man has forgotten about.
We're just kind of passing through. Merlin's here.
So I'm at 37 and a half minutes now.
I'm about a minute ahead of you.
14.
I'm about 15 seconds behind you.
I'm just trying to see where. Sorry,
I jump up to you. I jump up to you, but I'm afraid.
No, don't worry about it.
I'd miss it.
I'm back to 37.50.
Yeah, you might be able to change the speed of the thingy and double speed it for about a minute, and you'll catch up.
Yeah.
So filming was in the Irish location, so County Wicklow, County Tipperary. It's a long way to Tipperary.
No. Merlin, I know what Merlin whispered in the horse's ear.
Yes.
Ruka.
I love the scene here. I mean, you've got to admit, Bowman's a great director. The smoke on the side there, the fire at the base of and it's quite accurate. I mean, it's 12th century accurate, but this is what they would do. They would light fires at the base of the walls to sap what you call sap the energy out of the walls. Sappers were engineers whose job it was to weaken the walls, etc. So here you've got
carries along into modern military terms as well.
Yeah, you weaken the bricks with the fire, and you choke the enemy with the smoke.
This is it. And you've got the beautiful Sherry Lungi there playing Guinevere. And I used to she's one of a type of actresses that was very popular in the early 80s. This kind of look was very popular, and
all the hair.
And if you think of who was the actress in Krull?
Lisette Anthony.
I'm trying to remember now. That's it. Yeah, sorry, I've got the audio of the movie in my ears as well. So it's a very specific look. But I used to really get Sherry Lungi and Jenny Agutter. I used to get them mixed up all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jenny
Agutter.
So that just innocent look. That angelic look.
This is it. And that was the look, wasn't it, of the early 80s? It was either Jenny Agutter or Lisette or Sherry here.
And then you went the other way where it's like the more harsh and, more chiseled ladies, like the Kirstie Alleys.
Don't you like the way she's just looking at Arthur and thinking, oh, you're really good at killing people. I think I fancy you. Oh, I proper fancy you.
Yeah, the only guy without plate.
I like your tunic.
I like the way you swing your sword.
I like the cut of your tunic, young man.
Running through again.
That's a quilted vest?
Yeah. Now this is a brilliant scene.
It's a fashion thing.
So this bit here is the baptism scene. So this is a baptism in the Jordan, because you have the knighting. Okay, and knighting is a similar ceremony to baptism, isn't it? The way they do that. But this is like the washing of the feet. He becomes the servant. He says, I would knight you, but I need to be knighted first. So he actually hands his most powerful weapon over to him, his mortal enemy, This is a Christ-like act.
Oh, interesting.
And you see how now look what you said, Flash. The sword, he can't do any. The sword is ruling here.
Yeah,
it's controlling him. And
well, it seems to do that just before that, where Arthur's killing the guy on the parapet. Yeah. And he runs him through, and then he cuts his own hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an important scene.
Well, it's an interesting take also on predestination versus free will.
Yeah, it's divine intervention, isn't it? So it's the divine power interceding. And even Merlin's like, what the hell? Even Merlin had a WTF.
Yeah, I love that.
Even Merlin didn't see that one. So what you're seeing, swear allegiance to him because he's a divine king. And it shows that there's something about Arthur that even Merlin didn't figure out, you know?
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit thrown off every time I see Patrick Stewart in giant armor. I'm used to the 900-year-old Sir Patrick Stewart.
What have you done, Q?
Can you see the spring there, just in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
Now that's indicating that that's leftover Roman engineering.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, and that's
what did the Romans ever do for us?
They built all these toilets and running water and roads and things.
Like tore it all down.
It is funny. Like you can really have that the age of gold kind of that mythology can really kind of run through the culture really well when you're in like a post-Roman Britain, and and you're looking at masonry that you don't have technology for anymore.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, I think
it's amazing the technology we lost after the fall of the Roman Empire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like it's a visceral reminder that.
Well, it's also an allusion to the flood as well, isn't it? Because the idea of the pre-Diluvian technology and all of that. So who knows how old the Earth is, and who knows what has been lost through time? You know.
Yeah. Were these Roman battlements built by the giants or something? Or
so it's
ask these questions.
This is it, and of course the point. One of the themes of the story is the rediscovery of this, and it's only possible once people start behaving with morality, because immorality and selfish lust creates chaos. But
which
the
leads
idea
to destruction and downfall.
All I know is do-si-do.
Take your partner by the hair, swing her over under there.
But this is the Arthur's youth. Everybody's having a good time. They're down at the pubs. This is it. This is the halcyon days.
They're all doing the safety dance.
Well, apparently in jolly old Ireland, you're fine if you're dancing, but as soon as you stop dancing, you've got to protect yourself. Not saying anything more about that.
I keep seeing a 12-year-old Liam Neeson in the background too.
Patrick Stewart when he actually had a little bit of hair.
Yes. Yeah, but Liam Neeson, I've got a particular sword. And I'm drawing a blank on the rest of that bit.
Wasn't it?
It's one of the first. It's early for him. I think this was his and Patrick Stewart's big breakout roles. But Liam Neeson didn't know how to ride a horse before this movie.
Okay, so Arthur knows that Guinevere fancies him because she's baked him some cookies.
Ooh,
that's a plate of love cookies.
It's got an edible in it, my king. You'll be tripping thy balls.
So I love the Merlin is so like, don't pay attention to this girl. It's your downfall, and just Arthur's already.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
Well, and that's because he knows trouble will come if he gets involved with that girl.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
well, what's Merlin's?
Before.
I'm gonna have to watch this as many times as Cosmetti's seen it.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
Maybe not that many times.
Because I'm trying to figure out like what Merlin's motivation is. Like, does he just want to see a good king?
If you thought it was
the land?
If you thought it was complicated, Matt, it's about to get even more complicated because you've already got a lot to think about. Now we've thrown Lancelot into the mix. Okay, and that changes it completely. And Lancelot is a French knight who is totally outside of the whole mix. And you see how Merlin is fishing for a fish, right? And look at it, so beautiful. It's an analogy, and he's trying to tell him Lancelot is like a slippy fish.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and you know, and I wanted to come back to this too because there's so many. All of the movies that we watch, if you go back and watch them again, and you know, there's so much stuff that underlies them. You know, you can pick up so many different things on a second or a third viewing. Except for that pratfall.
Yeah.
What's the
that one's pretty straightforward.
Timestamp, I'm at 47:15.
Okay.
So Lancelot is the perfect knight. Okay, his ambition in life is to be the perfect knight with and maintain the perfect code.
And the shiniest.
Wow. And then there's the analogy of Lancelot of the Lake. Now the sword came from a lake. But he is changing the dimension of everything because Arthur thinks he can recruit him, and Lancelot is a free agent. It's the idea of trying to possess something out of selfish desire that you can't ever have. And he's the best knight ever.
In this team is just amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to bring up. Note how shiny Lancelot's armor is.
He is already at the stage that they're going to become later on in the movie. Now, I'm not going to give too much away, but he actually is a better knight than Arthur, and Arthur only manages to best him in a certain way, and I'm not going to give it away. And this is Arthur's moment where he falls, because he doesn't fall out of like sexual immorality or anything like that. He falls out of anger and frustration. You know, his pride. It's pride that's damaged. Because he's come up against somebody who was obviously better than him.
And this is like another scene where you can see the Waterhouse paintings come to life.
I don't know whether anybody's familiar with William Morris, but he did a lot of illustrations as well on this subject. Even his sword is shiny.
Yeah, what's your timestamp?
His shield is ridiculously shiny.
Absolutely. I'm at 49 and a half minutes.
Okay.
I said it was a long movie, but we're already almost at... Do you know what it is? We're almost at 50 minutes already.
Oh, yeah.
Can you believe
it's moving along at a good clip.
It's nicely paced.
I'm going to tease something just because I need to get up off my rump and do something, but I watched a certain online series that I need to do a thing on because the pacing in that made me want to just... It was like I was in the dentist office getting a root canal.
Yeah.
Please just wrap it up. Let's get to the credits. Pretty please. Let's be done with this.
Well, this is it. When you start watching really good movies, and you start to appreciate the format and the art form, you start to identify easily when things are rubbish.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like we're looking back. I feel like we're looking at a golden age of film now.
I'm telling you, Matt, 1981 was an incredible year for movies. I am telling you, honestly.
81 had some great stuff.
Unreal.
We didn't know what we had. We thought it'd just keep getting better.
This is it. We took it for granted. Took it for granted. See this fight scene.
Can you see
how Arthur is resorting? Arthur's getting more frustrated and resorting to more and more base tactics, whereas Lancelot is like, a chess player.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I want to piggyback on what Flash said, because this was when directors and producers could make the movies more like what they wanted, whereas now you have the studios saying, "Oh, well,
it's all done by committee now, so everything's just kind of neat and bland."
So this is the misuse of power. Calls on the power of Excalibur.
Then, if there was a mistake, it was an accident. Now, if there's a good thing, it's an accident.
Yeah, exactly.
And you see how his selfish desire has not just destroyed Lancelot's armor, but he's broken the sword as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Right now, you could do a meme of Merlin going, bollocks. There went my plans.
You could do a meme of Merlin saying, I only just bought you that from Toys R Us, you little brat.
We didn't even get home from Walmart, and you already broke your toy?
Cheap Chinese swords.
Well, it's also like the sword telling that Lancelot's a decent guy, because it won't kill him.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a good point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now he's immediately realized, though, hasn't he?
Darn it, these people.
But he has learned from his mistake. This is the thing about Arthur. He makes mistakes, but he's humble enough to realize he's just screwed. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
And that's what people don't understand is repentance.
Yes.
Acknowledging your mistakes and repenting. Oh, there's that watery tart again.
Yes.
Yeah,
now,
that's why politicians are so evil, because they don't have the power to say, I'm sorry.
Did you notice, though, how, again, Merlin is shocked? He didn't expect this to happen. Right?
Yes, exactly.
There's something about Arthur which is outside of even Merlin, right? Because Arthur repented and was sorrowful. And because he repented...
When Arthur repents, like, his face changes. Like, gets older.
Yeah. And an interesting thought is what exactly surprises Merlin throughout this, since he thinks he knows everything. He's been around so long, for him to be shocked. Yeah, it's a big deal.
This is it. There's learning, but then there's things that go beyond that.
Yes, it's not just skill. It's not just the ability to develop a skill. It's the spark, the certain savoir-faire that someone has.
It's I mean, it's said a lot in comparing movies today to yesteryear, but it is refreshing to see a hero grow.
This is probably one of the
struggle.
This is Matt. This is probably one of the best movies for the hero moral. Because
I'm seeing it.
He's sorrowful of the fact that he's only beaten Lancelot because of using an unfair
kindness
advantage.
in his face. He's like, I'm going to be your friend.
Yeah. Well, and you bring up a great point, Matt, and it's failing, learning from the failure, and improving going forward.
You don't see that often.
Right. A lot of writers now are afraid to do that.
I'm going to tell Cosmetti something. Cosmetti, if you were wondering earlier about the sex scene with Katrin Boerman, according to Gabriel Byrne, who played Uther, his sex scene with Katrin Boerman, and you were wondering, Matt, about the full plate armor, was filmed with the two separated. I don't really want to say this, but he performed his close-ups in the scene with a pin cushion. All I can say is I hope they took the pins out.
No kidding, man.
A pin cushion?
Pin cushion.
That's an interesting
now, I'm hoping he did not use that pin cushion afterwards. That would be disgusting.
Yeah, he had a waifu doll before they were cool. Who knew?
Can you imagine that, honestly?
Yeah.
So here we have he's almost completely conquered. Well, actually, no, the wars are over. So he has united the country. So we're now... This is where Merlin reminds him that this time will never come back again, as we said before. and he's also going to toast your marshmallows.
Yeah, he flipped his bick. Now, for people, if you want to send care packages to Pete where he can distribute them, I am on my last bottle of scotch and I am almost out.
Oh no!
Yes, this is a catastrophe. I'm going to have to make a run to the liquor store.
This is also like the burning of the old world and the rise of the new, isn't it?
No. Yeah, this is it. This is the separation point, and Merlin is reminding them that this is a unique moment in time, which will not come again. And this has been copied so many times in other movies.
Oh, it's his. Oh wow, it's his staff itself with the flame on it. That's cool.
Who needs a light?
Yeah, that's a really good Merlin impersonation, actually. And Flash was saying earlier about John Boorman and that, you know, the bit of the Merlin based on Gandalf in a way. And yes, John Boorman, I've just found a bit of information here where he was aiming to make, as Flash said, the Lord of the Rings movie. Didn't acquire the rights, so he decided to make this movie instead.
Yeah, United Artists gave him the money to make this because of that. That was one of the reasons. They were like, we feel bad that you didn't get that, so here you can do this.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, cool.
The original
because I guess, you know, they felt bad because not only did he not get the rights, a cartoon was made of it that Tolkien never wanted.
Oh, he didn't like the he
never wanted a cartoon made.
No.
He said that to Boorman. He's like, I'm glad you're making it because I was afraid, you know, it would become a cartoon if someone else got it.
Oh wow.
And then lo and behold, he died and it became a cartoon.
Yeah.
A really bad cartoon.
It was. The original cut of the movie was over 3 hours long. Many scenes cut and lost.
I would like
actually.
to see that. Yeah.
Briefly glimpsed the trailer. Some people have, which was the scene where Sir Lancelot rescues Guinevere from a forest bandit. Is one of the scenes that was lost. Now, the music you hear in here is from Tristan and Isolde by Wagner, which is a fantastic movie, but opera, but a fantastic story as well. It's like Irish Celtic myth, Tristan and Isolde. I know they did a movie version of it, but it wasn't that great, to be honest.
No.
Do you think there was just a guy on set whose only job was just polish Excalibur?
And polish Lancelot as well.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. Yeah.
Lancelot was like the most beautiful man, perfect knight, and just like he was like Ace Rimmer, basically.
Like me when I go.
What a guy!
When I go walking through the trailer park, the ladies all act the same way. Like, check out the cargo shorts on Ralph.
So, I think Guinevere is doing well at this point to resist the charms of Lancelot.
And as Lancelot, they cast the character of every French comic book done by Mobius.
Yes, exactly.
It's Blueberry.
It is the cast. I've got to be honest. Casting on this movie is 100% perfect. I honestly can't.
Just like the character in Valerian.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly like Valerian.
Good chin line.
But then they made the movie and they cast a guy that looked like a Gollum version of Don Knotts.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely shocking.
Oh,
and there's the love. Arthur? There's the love tune from Tristan and Isolde. Isolde's Liebstod. And here's the wedding scene. And now we're at full metallic disco headbands.
Don't speak to that woman.
Wow.
We have upgraded to metallic disco headbands.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the green light.
Well, see, you have Lancelot is a pure chaste man, and he's trying to stay that way because he becomes a hermit.
It's part of his code, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he becomes a hermit just so he doesn't have to, be around Guinevere because he sees the temptation.
Well, yeah, and that's a big thing too. Is Lancelot struggles with it. It's not like he just hooks up with Arthur's round table and starts knocking boots. It's a
he starts working extra hours as a knight just to.
Unlike that terrible movie First Night.
Ooh, Helen Mirren, Growl.
So there we go. We see an early shot of Mirren.
Oh,
okay, I'm going to give you my Helen Mirren spiel.
Oh, no.
I'm interested. I'm already seeing
okay. Very
Russian.
quickly, I'm going to run through this crap, so bear with me.
I've been Google searching, so Ralph is interested.
Right. Mirren was born Helen Lydia Mironov at Queen Charlotte Chelsea Hospital in Hammersmith in 1945 to an English mother and Russian father. Her mother, Kathleen Kitty Alexandrina Eva Matilda, was a working-class woman from West Ham, the 13th of 14 children born to a butcher whose own father had been the butcher to Queen Victoria.
Great.
Her father was Vasily Petrovich Mironov, who was a member of an exiled royalist family of the Russian nobility and being taken to England at the age of 2 by his father, Pyotr Vasilievich Mironov, who himself owned a family estate near Gazakh and part of Russian aristocracy.
Ooh.
Pyotr's mother, Mirren's great-grandmother, was Countess Lydia Andreevna Kardskaya, aristocrat and descendant of Count Mikhail Fedorovich Kamensky. It goes on. He was part of the Napoleonic Wars. They were all generals and royalty. So she's come from basically the most powerful family.
This is Morgana's audition.
Yeah, I was going to say all these really awesome names, Pietri Mironov, and I'm surprised they didn't change it to Fred Smith,
and
bag of donuts here.
But he ended up as a taxi driver and a butcher.
Wow!
Because he was in Britain when the revolution happened, and he thought, "Oh, shite, I can't go back there."
Well, yeah, good thing he was in Britain.
So,
invest in meats.
Yes.
It was all the fault of the moose and squirrel.
Did you already pass the scene where you find out Helen Mirren plays D&D?
Yes. No, he's asking her questions, isn't he, about things, and she's answering.
He's throwing his arm
one decided die. Do you know that, girl?
Do you know how to cast fireball, young girl?
I think Merlin's trying to get
magic
to space.
Now it's interesting. Have you seen the similarity? There's a parallel. Guinevere is marrying Arthur at the same time. Morgana is sort of romancing Merlin.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just take a quick
clash
break.
of the pagan and Christian too.
Yes, I'm sure you can all hold the fort while I'm away. I think Flash is making coconut noises.
I hear
Sorry.
This is
I thought we needed that
Percival, or who becomes Sir Percival. Now Percival it's slightly different in this movie because I think it was Gawain in this original story, but this is Percival, and he's the one that later on it goes on the quest for the Grail.
Oh.
Another amazing acting job of aging on camera.
And all of the stories that are intertwined here as well, Flash, because you've got the story of Gawain, you've got the story of Percival. All of these Percival, all of these stories are stories in their own right. I'm gonna go and have a quick break, gentlemen and lady, while we're away. Obviously, I'm sure you'll keep the fort. And it sounds like somebody's like sucking through a straw in a big glug somewhere.
It's an American thing. I don't know if it's an American doing it or not, but I'm proud of you if you are. America. Da, 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 da. Okay, so hold on a minute.
Fun fact, Percival was originally cast to play Arthur.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, he's
I
tempting.
think because like Nigel Terry, he could pull off being 20 and 40.
That says a lot, especially in the 80s where they tended to take 40-year-olds and cast them as high schoolers.
Oh, God, yeah.
You've seen any B movie from the 80s, it's like, oh.
I think Tobey Maguire was the last old high schooler, right? That first Spider-Man where everybody in high school was like 35.
I've got to think, but yeah, probably.
Like Flash Thompson had to be like 42 in that movie.
Yeah,
it's like he's the bully because he's older than everybody. He's got a car because he has a career.
Hey, Chaos. Welcome into the movie. If you're just joining us in, we are at 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 58 seconds. Glad to see you in the chat.
Yeah, welcome.
Where a man is roasting a chihuahua on a stick.
Well, if you're gonna win over a French
quite as
knight,
tasty as these small dogs.
well,
They don't get stuck in my teeth the way a retriever would.
I was gonna tie it back to the Holy Grail, because in this case they beat the rabbit and cooked it, whereas in the Holy Grail the rabbit won.
That's why Lancelot's so great. He's like, oh, rabbits, whatever.
Oh, we've progressed. We've progressed to Camelot now.
Yeah,
so
we are now
even his horse is shiny. Holy cow!
This is now we've rediscovered all of the ancient knowledge, and this is the ideal high existence, age of high existence. Even Morgana's friends with Guinevere.
Yeah,
but
everyone
still fancies
they
Lancelot.
did in this movie. When you see the far off shot of Camelot on the hillside, that is a miniature in camera.
Yes, and it's done very well, isn't it? It's
for the age perspective is the best way to put it.
You know what? She was such a good-looking woman, really. I don't know why she wasn't in Sherry Lungi. She's more attractive than Jenny Agutter.
Babies? Why were there naked babies in Camelot?
Yeah. What timestamp do we have, everybody?
I have 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 34 seconds.
Good. And the other reason I said for asking that question is because I just stopped by. Now, can you see the man with the mathematical machine there, the calculator, the wooden calculator?
Yeah.
And there is a round table.
Wow.
But don't worry, nobody is saying any forms of Roman salutations.
No, absolutely not. No.
So shiny.
And yeah, so I mean, and the thing I like about Percival is he starts right at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And here is Liam, Sir Liam, who was necking on
and we
with,
got that great shot where Helen Mirren figures out that Guinevere has a thing for Lancelot.
Yes, and she makes use of that.
Aha! I can use this later.
And then the director want the two of them to basically not like each other.
Yes.
So that the character wise they're supposed to be in conflict. He wanted the two ladies to be in conflict, and I don't think it worked out the way he planned.
No, this is Prime Mirren, by the way. This is Prime Mirren. And you know, she was Helen Mirren was born in. Oh, I heard a bit of an echo. A sound. Oh,
someone lost their headphones.
Yeah, somebody lost their headphones.
TQ41, come in.
She would have been what? 25.
She was. When was she born? She was born in 45. This is 81. So she's 36 in this movie. Now she does not look 36.
No, absolutely.
Looks like at least.
She still looks great.
She looks half of that age.
Mm-hmm.
She still looks amazing.
Well,
she's still a very attractive woman.
Yeah. So.
But yeah,
and she's in nudist, which is why she probably had no problem wearing the skimpy outfits.
Yeah. But have you noticed as well how she's always drawn to Merlin? Now Merlin's walking off into the green light there. Mm-hmm. And here is Liam. This was his second film role, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's played both Jesus and Judas.
Yes, precisely.
Really? Over there. I know where.
Now, I think it was Mirren who was sharing a house with Neeson, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a bit of a trivia with that. Trying to find it here. And obviously, it's a known fact that tall men are attracted to petite ladies and vice versa. So she lived with him during the early 80s. They met while working on Excalibur. When she was interviewed, she said, when Liam was interviewed, he said Mirren was instrumental in getting him an agent. So Helen Mirren helped Liam to get started as an actor.
Well, he was born in 52. She was born in 45. Yeah, she was robbing the cradle there.
To be honest, but she's rocking it at that age.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say, I wouldn't have minded at 25.
Really?
Or so.
I'm sorry, we're talking this way, and there is a lady present. We keep forgetting.
Yeah, please forgive us, Kusmeti.
Anyway, we have been negligent in the chat that we have Chus. And I said Chus because I need new glasses. Chaos. And I've had too much beer.
Yeah,
hello, I'm English.
That's all right. I'm eating a box of chocolates.
Yeah, it's the logo on my shirt.
Playing some chords on my piano.
My shirt says chaos. This person is part of my people.
If I can't pronounce words, I might just run for the American presidency.
Yeah. If you can stand upright, you're ahead of some of the people.
Come on, man. Prime Minister too.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I don't look enough like a clown to be a British Prime Minister. But hello to chaos in the
Australian
chat.
one's just as clownish.
Oh. Well,
see, Mirren was perfect for this because she can look sinister and she can look innocent.
She looks totally innocent.
Whereas in every other version, Morgana is just played straight up evil.
Well, she melts into the background. She's got a little bit of a cape thing going on there. I like the hair. I love the hairdos in this. Fantastic.
It introduced the world to the man bun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liam was the first to man bun. Anybody who tries to man bun, sorry, Liam was there before you.
Yeah, Liam.
And another knight sitting by Arthur had a big one too.
Pardon?
There's another knight sitting like to the right,
Okay, sorry.
To the left of Guinevere. He's got a huge man bun. Okay.
There's a guy I work with has a man bun, and I don't like man buns, but I get on really well with them, but I still don't think they look good. I'm sorry.
Just take some scissors in one day and say, "Oh, hold on a minute, you've got a thing." Snip.
It's interesting that she has shisha work on her robe.
She has what?
Shisha work. That's an Indian garment.
Yeah, there's a lot of Indian garments in this.
Like did you notice the people who were selling? Yeah, there was people selling cloth and everything. So it's like the idea is that they're now connected with the wider world.
See, and that's why we have you in here, Cosmetti, because I only recognize bacon, 45 caliber ammunition, and cows.
Well, people realized after Hawk the Slayer that Indian clothing looks very medieval fantasy.
Can we get a timestamp check? Because I just saw Naked Lancelot.
Naked. We've got Naked Nicholas Clay. Naked Clay.
Okay, good.
It's 1:14 and 40 seconds. He's just battled himself in his dream, but look, the sword has gone through his. This always makes me.
That is like the greatest special effect of all time.
It is incredible.
How'd they do that?
He's a method actor. He just stabbed himself in a love handle.
Basically, he's just now that injury stays over the rest of his life.
That's great.
TK41 again.
Well, little do you know, if you get stabbed through the love handle, that's a near fatal wound.
Yeah, if it hits your kidneys.
Protect mine at all cost.
You will never love again.
Exactly.
So. There's been an accusation of infidelity, and it hasn't actually happened at this point. But he has to defend the accusation. But as you said earlier, this is Morgana stirring the pot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I love in that whole scene. She's like just looming over the table in the background, like completely silent.
Yeah, she's doing a good job of being there, kind of twisting things, pushing things along, but staying out of things.
I love how they do the perfect silhouette for the comic book style nudity.
But look at the array here. You've got like a theater setup with 2 tiers, and everybody's so austere, and do you know what I mean? It's all the shiny armor, and the ladies looking very sort of posh. But this is Percival, where Arthur's pride came in. This is like Arthur Mark II, Percival, and he is the humblest person ever.
Ooh,
and he's
Percival's
like
a knight.
A better version of Arthur. Actually, he is actually supposed to be part of Arthur's soul in this story, because he goes off to rescue the Grail for Arthur. He's in a way, he's like, it doesn't really overtly say it, but it's as if this is Arthur's son.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
So Arthur does battle with Gawain. Now, in this movie, Gawain isn't really displayed like the traditional stories. They do play with the idea a bit. But I don't know if anybody noticed, Morgana was getting a bit of a high there out of the possibility of people killing each other.
Oh, no, I missed that. Oh, yeah.
Here comes Lancelot, who will defend his honor.
Sir Q of Bert.
Yeah. Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, sorry, wrong movie.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm late. I had to stop off and get donuts. My bad. Oh, I am sorry. I will step away for a moment. Carry on without me.
Okie doke. Get that liquor in.
So we're at the
This is
of Percival.
Yeah, this is almost 1 hour 18 on my version anyway, and this is the bit where Lancelot has to defend his own honor. He hasn't done anything wrong, but he's been accused because Morgana is stirring the pot and causing conflict already. You know, trouble in paradise type of thing.
Secure part.
Yeah, John Bowman actually directed Exorcist 2. As well. I didn't realize that.
And Deliverance. So he had some.
He had a really good pedigree
experience with the Lady in the Lake.
Yeah, yeah. Now again, these arms and armor are typical of the 13th century.
Yeah, like the 15 to 1600s.
Yeah. Well, the 13th century would be the 1200s, about the time of.
This is way
Longshanks.
after that. This armor is more 15th century.
It's and it's the jousting as well.
But it's the armor that you imagine when you think King Arthur.
Yeah.
It's the big plate armor of storybooks.
It's the ideal sort of poetic version of the story.
And I love the blood stain on his armor that they don't even draw attention to. It's just there.
And of course, the scenery here. I mean, the giant trees and everything. I don't think it's filmed in Ireland. It looks more like somewhere in California. The giant redwoods or somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know whether this was Ireland. It looks very redwood forest, doesn't it?
I think it was all Ireland, right?
It's pretty impressive. I don't know where it was. I was trying to find out the locations of the particular scene.
Part of England.
Yeah. Now you can see that Lancelot's actually changing as a character. It's like
he's kind of an extension of Arthur, isn't he?
Yeah, I think a lot of the characters in the story are, because Arthur is the land. Everything's connected to him. Everything's an extension of him or connected to him in some way. Now, ironically, it's when they haven't been unfaithful together with each other, but it's when Lancelot is injured through fear of being unfaithful that it actually happens. Spoilers. So it's the fear of the thing comes upon you. That's the idea, you see. If you fear the thing, it will come upon you.
Wait a minute. So if I fear that lot number 13 is going to clear out because they don't pay their rent.
If only it was that easy.
Oh, okay.
If I fear I'm going to win the lottery.
That's my fear.
I shall fear more.
My fear is that I win the lottery, but not just maybe 20 million.
It rained every day of the shoot, by the way, causing most of the movie to be shot in dull light.
But you know what? It works for it because rain makes the greens extra green.
Yes, you beat me to it. I was about to say it added to the lushness of the shots. I was going to say, but yeah,
that sounds like Ireland.
Yeah, I was going to say
Ireland.
Ireland.
You ever been to Ireland? That's where my folks are from originally, going back about 4 or 5 generations.
I'm sorry, did you say Arlen, Texas? Yeah, I've been there.
Ireland. Oh, that moment when he wakes up and sees her straight away. I mean, that's ridiculous. He's like, stop, get out.
Yeah.
It's
Love
like
is in the air, and magic all around.
Merlin is doing a Joe pose.
I was thinking more of it's getting hot in here.
Oh, and Arthur did did himself in, whatever the cost. Cure him, whatever the cost.
Now, did you know that John Bowman, the director, wanted the movie to focus on the story, not the actors and actresses? So he actually cast relative unknowns. That's why Liam's in it for a start, because he wanted unknown actors. Only Nicole Williamson was actually known. And relatively sort of familiar to the American audience. The rest, because obviously we're watching this in hindsight, none of the rest of the cast was known.
Ooh, well, I'm glad he picked.
Yeah,
Helen
they were all
Mirren.
stage actors.
Sherry Lungy, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I find it interesting that
Dude, what's with that pimp coat? Oh, sorry.
Say that again, Tony.
I find it interesting that when they were starting to film this, that the studio didn't want Nicole Williamson because he'd just done a movie which was a flop.
Ooh.
Yeah,
and I can't imagine anyone else playing that role.
No, true. And do you know that he didn't want to do both of them didn't want to do this movie. Him and Mirren didn't want to do the movie because they'd just been in a bit of production of Macbeth.
Yeah, they didn't want
it. Yeah.
And it had gone terribly wrong.
Yes.
This is, I've seen him in the Macbeth production. He did more than one. He did a BBC one as well, and he's fantastic. But, these people had very high standards as well. Today is... Yeah.
Well, and to be fair, Macbeth is cursed. Everything goes wrong on Macbeth, period. Any production.
The Scottish play, you're not allowed to say the word. You know that, don't you?
The Scottish play.
Yeah.
The Scottish
You
play.
mean
Macbeth! What's that thing from Blackadder? Macbeth!
Yes.
Macbeth! Got to do like a thing every time.
I love Blackadder.
Oh, you mean Macbeth?
I have to say the costume design in this is fantastic. Not just the armor, but the costume for the women as well. Absolutely brilliant. The colors. Look at the scene. He was a good director.
Yeah.
He was really good. And she's running across the rocks. The music is torrential. It's building up like an unstoppable tide. No, don't. Puts his arm up. Don't. No, we must. Ah! Smack it on you.
Oh, sorry.
And it's all gone horribly wrong.
Oh, well, yeah, but it was just my headphones hitting the sneeze guard. Oh, you mean the movie? Sorry. Cursed pop filter. That way I can say my P's and B's without blowing out everyone's ears.
Now he's talking. Sorry, Tony.
I was just saying, he goes, "Do you have sight, Merlin?" And I'm like, "What is he? Bloody lino?"
Yeah.
Sort of omens give me sight beyond sight.
Yeah.
He's dropping.
Now he's
ate some mushrooms in between scenes.
Well, that's part of the whole thing, you see. When you're a druid.
Well, you see, Arthur, I was out in the teepee with some peyote.
And I've just eaten some brown rice. And
I had a vision quest.
Now, but he's talking about the age of gods being over, and this is the age of man. So Merlin is not sure what's going to happen now. The future unclear it is. So it's that moment where things are in transience. They're moving from one state to another, and he just does not know what to say to Arthur because the ages are changing. And this is another moment where Merlin checks up on Morgana.
I like that the castle's even shiny. It's got a nice chrome finish.
The names of 25 knights, by the way. Galahad, Lancelot, Gawain, Percival, Lionel. I can't help thinking of Lionel Richie. Bors de Ganas. Bors was a good knight. Kay, Tristram, de Lyonesse, Gareth. All right, Gareth. Bedivere, Bleoberis. That's not. Imagine being Lacotte, Maltail, Lucan.
Look at this set.
Palomedes. It's great, isn't it? Some of the knights' names are very strange. And of course, Mordred is included in the list of knights. Oh, there we go. Sneaky love scene amongst the ferns. Very tastefully done, though. And again, you see, whenever there's a love scene, there is parallel a scene between Merlin and Morgana. So Liam and Helen met on the set of the movie and lived together for 4 years. Pow, chicka, chow, chow.
At least he took his armor off.
Yes. Well, at least it wasn't a flippin' pin cushion. Anyway. What you doing, Liam? I'm not going to go there.
Nothing happened. They just passed out after they got all that armor off. They're like, oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah. Now, why? Whenever I've watched this movie, I've always wondered, why is Merlin even showing Morgana all of this information? Why is he doing this?
I think it's supposed to be her tricking him, right?
Yes. It doesn't go the way he thinks it's going to.
I just don't understand why he does this.
Am I back again? There we go.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry.
You're missing the nudie scene between...
Dude, I've been cracking some great jokes the whole time, and it's
damn!
just been nothing.
Off the record.
He's doing this because
bum.
he means to trap her, but she turns it around on him. It just doesn't go the way he thinks it's going to go. She turns the charm of making around on him. Yeah.
Exactly. And he's playing underwater 3D Settlers of Catan.
What?
Let's see if she can play Uno.
Sorry, Merlin. I played my reverse card.
Rob's on his alpha game tonight.
Down in the Merlin cave.
Great googly moogly. I see knockers.
And so he contemplates killing him. Again, this was stolen for the awful Star Trek movies.
Yeah. Green light. Uh-oh. He flicked his beak again.
So this is what you were saying, Chris Matty. He's trying to pull a fast one on her, and it backfires.
Yeah.
I see what happens differently, though. It's because Arthur does something wrong that the power of the earth is shaken and confused. Because Merlin is connected to Arthur, and it weakens Merlin temporarily, and that gives Morgana a chance to act.
Well, and Merlin's distracted by all of that, too.
Well, but wait a minute. A different interpretation is Merlin is connected to the earth, and he is struck Excalibur into the earth. So I'm confused by this one.
Anybody watching, by the way, this is Welsh stroke Elfish.
Oh, this is Welsh?
What would that be done?
Well, it might be Latin. I'm not sure. It sounds Welsh.
I'm watching this with subtitles just so I don't have the sound on, and it just says speaking in foreign language.
Oh,
speaking in
Merlin, very useful.
To be fair, that could be southeastern United States, Tony.
So how is Morgana as pre-Diluvian as Merlin? Or?
No, she's just learnt the ways.
Okay, yeah.
She's learnt the ways, and she has a massive chip on her shoulder.
And she does have a gift because she did know when her father died.
Yeah, she's essentially Anakin. She's Anakin Skywalker. She's a bit peeved, and she believes the Jedi are all hypocrites. That's what Lucas imagined. I can't do a Lucas voice. Ralph does a much better Lucas voice.
You see, it's like this. We went through that. No, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Flash doing
power of myth. When Bob Alpha flipped his 56 Chevy, it was the power of myth.
It belongs to everybody, except when I make it, it belongs to me.
Did you say
Wolfman Jack is a symbolic of the earth?
Wait a minute. Did you say the power of meth? I think it's the power of meth.
Yes, I created a little show called Breaking Bad. It was about the power of meth.
So they're both Guinevere. So this is the breaking moment of the story. This is about 1.5 hours through. It's just over halfway through, and the horrible moment's about to come. So we've seen that Merlin's been trapped, and also Guinevere and Lancelot have committed this act together. They've woken up to see Excalibur there, so they know Arthur knows. There's remorse. Arthur's angry, and we've got a repetition of what happened earlier, where somebody pretends to be somewhere else, and now a moment of incest, which is the worst in the entire story. So
it's kind of they are half, aren't they? Yeah.
So going back to Borman's other film,
it's like half.
Ding 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 ding.
Oh yeah.
So, and here she is with evil druids.
Now, and I would just like to point out if Tarantino had shot this scene, it would be nothing but Helen Mirren's feet.
Right now, the birth scene.
Wow, she pulled it out herself.
Her head is up in a hole in the table, while a real pregnant woman is on the table. That was really well done, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That was the inside.
It's better than her plastic stomach in Caligula.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah. Now there's a movie to watch. Not.
Yeah.
Oh my.
No.
Now he's been struck
interesting.
down.
Oof. Thou shalt take thy suppository.
So there we are. So it's
things are breaking down.
Yeah, so the power of the earth is just chaotic now, and it's attacking itself. Now, this muddy scene here, we do need to have somebody saying,
"You're oppressing me.
Come and see the violence in this business."
Being oppressed.
What retort? I've wasted all my lines from earlier in the movie.
Wow. It looks like they went to Iceland.
No, only the northeast of England where I'm from. That's what it's like in winter.
Really? Oh,
wow. That's why all the Vikings came here, because it's practically the same.
To warm up.
Yeah.
The Vikings are like, oh man, it's like the tropics here. Check it out.
Yeah. They're hanging around in Bermuda shorts.
Can you see, obviously, Arthur is ailed. And this is the quest for the Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail? The Holy Grail.
This scene here is this quest for the Grail. There's some fantastic cinematography coming up. And it reminds me of the kind of stuff that Ridley did on the film The Duelists. And
classic.
it's so well done. I mean, there's a similarity between that and also there's another movie we must do someday by oh goodness me, he did Twin Peaks.
David Cronenberg. David
Cronenberg,
Lynch.
yeah, Cronenberg.
Oh no.
David Lynch did Twin Peaks.
Sorry, not Twin Peaks. Sorry, it was oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
2001,
3 scotches in. My trivia is
Space Odyssey. I'll get there in the end. Kubrick, right? Kubrick.
Yeah.
I've had a bit too much, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess.
There's no such thing.
I just had my first drink.
I can hold my scotch just fine.
I've got to run for the night. Sadly, before we get to see both creepy versions of Mordred.
Oh no!
Man. Well, dude, it's great to see you here. We're happy to have you, man.
Yeah, Flash.
And the page, you rock a page haircut like nobody else.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Flash, for coming by.
All right, nerds. Keep rolling 20s.
You too. Take care.
Get us that art book soon.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, man.
Well, that's in the works. Oh, we've lost Cosmetti as well.
Oh, Cosmetti. No.
She'll be back.
Yeah.
But no, I was thinking Kubrick. It was
cool.
This bit here where it's
how cool is that?
Frozen Night. It's amazing.
Ooh,
because it shows you the passage of time. Just a simple scene like that shows you how long this has been going on for.
Yeah,
was that Percival?
I love that shot of the dead knight too.
That's great.
No, it is, and he's still in the pose of kneeling and sort of like praying, isn't he? Here we go. Cosmetti's back. Cosmetti's back.
That's Percival that's searching, right?
Percival, yeah. Percival is the most pure of heart of all of the knights.
Okay,
that's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cliche because we keep bringing it up, but it's like when people use a visual medium to tell the story visually. It's nice to not get a as you know dialogue blurb to just tell you the story.
Show don't tell.
Yeah, exactly.
This is it, show not tell, and this is a prime example. This entire movie is a prime example of show not tell.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's just come across Mordred.
Bizarre.
And it's so well done.
Oh, dude's got a nice set of hair on that armor.
Yeah. And it goes to show, like, if you invest deeply in your own, in the culture that's inspiring you, that the story is wrapped up in.
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna speak across across cultures and across time better than just trying to make something that is going to instantly speak to everyone at the same level.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Instead of trying to hit a global audience and make things bland,
you have to be loyal to the mythology.
Yeah.
And there's the tree where all the knights are hung from the tree, which is incredible. It's incredible image. Have you noticed as well that calling back to ancient knowledge, Mordred's, there you go. This is sick, isn't it? This scene. There you go. Desolation and the total humiliation of Arthur's knights. But have you noticed how Mordred's armor is Romanic? It calls back to Roman armor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely making a reference to the fact that they have this prior knowledge, because it's like this Romanic Greek armor.
That's great.
Yeah, it strikes you as something that Caesar would have made for himself.
Yes.
Yeah, this film is literally, illusion reference after illusion reference.
Oh, and just to give folks a time check, we're at roughly 1 hour 41 minutes.
The movie I remembered finally was Barry Lyndon.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Got to do that sometime. It's an amazing movie. And it's just the cinematography in this film is at that incredible level when you see the landscapes, just like Barry Lyndon, the lighting and everything's natural.
Well, and it's one of those things where when cinematography is done well, you appreciate it, but it doesn't stand out. It doesn't jump out to you. But as soon as someone says, wow, that's a really great shot, suddenly in your head you click and you go, wow, yeah, that is. And you start thinking back through all the other things. It's very well shot.
I'm trying to think. Percival reminds me of
Sir Robin.
No,
Brave Sir Robin.
brave Sir Robin.
I didn't.
Bravely brave Sir Robin.
It's not true.
There's another. There's a British actor, the similar pointy nose that he's reminding me of.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
He has a little bit of a look of Sherlock. Benedict Cumberbatch right there. Just a tiny bit.
Now, this is the scariest bit of the whole movie because not all of the knights have died. Some of them have become, some of them have subverted and essentially given themselves up in order to stay alive. So these are some of the knights of the Round Table who have become nothing more than slaves, essentially, which is worse than death, really. So here he is, and it's only by this is a great scene, this Matt, where only by nature of the spur on the other body. So it's not like she was even going to be merciful with him. It's the spur just touching the rope every now and then.
Yeah.
And
How dark is this? This is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and notice you've still got the green light, and it's like what we talked about with the French
You're absolutely right, Ralph.
Connection.
That's a good point. So again, the earth is interceding, the earth or God or whatever is interceding, and saying, the story doesn't end here.
But while the light is low, it's at a level similar to what you would see with the human eye. So it's a fantastic job in the lighting department.
And now he has this epiphany, and this is the bit where Arthur is then identified as like a Christ figure because he's calling to him in this dream.
Oh, stop kneeling. Get up. I can't stand it when people do that.
Wow.
This reminds me of Time Bandits, which was the same year. It's the same actor who was actually the guy who did the voice and did this sequence. I'm sure that Terry Gilliam asked him to do exactly the same thing in Time Bandits because he does. It's the same voice actor, but he's saying, "Return the map."
Yeah,
it's the same guy. But there you go. So,
wow.
What is the secret of the Grail? So it's not just finding the Grail; it's the secret of the Grail. You've got to understand.
Yeah. Very well done. I like that scene.
Yeah. So Bowman's kids, Katrine Bowman was in Igraine. Telsh Bowman and Charlie Bowman are all in the movie. So never realized that, but this is Charlie Bowman, who later on went to motorbike round the world with Ewan McGregor. I never realized that, but that is Charlie Bowman.
Can I get a timestamp?
I'm sorry, did you say Ewan McGregor?
Are you still there, Cosmetti?
I don't think so.
I think I heard Cosmetti, but really quiet.
No, I don't hear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I thought I heard Cosmetti, but not now. Timestamp, please. We're at 1:45:55 seconds.
Yeah.
Same.
Cosmetti is in the show, but I can't hear her.
You may need to drop out and come back in, Kay.
Yeah. So we've seen Mordred age immediately through the use of arcane magics. And we are at 1:46 and 20 seconds.
Ooh,
Let's just see if I can increase. No, it's just dropped.
Yeah.
It must have been a technical problem.
Coming back in.
Yeah. I heard her speak, but really quiet, but then she's dropped out. So Mordred now faces Arthur directly. And you can see Mordred's healthy and Arthur is sickly. There's a similarity here between Beowulf as well. Because Beowulf, the illusion in that story is it's his child who becomes the golden dragon. I mean, they did a movie version of it which alluded to that. But I think Flash said before the show that Mordred is essentially the product of everybody's worst intentions. You know, he's like concentrated resentment and evil. Everybody's negativity poured into one person.
Which comes right back to Time Bandits. Don't touch it, Mom. Don't touch it, Dad.
It's concentrated evil.
Boom.
This scene here with Percival, where he takes his armor off to get away in the river, again is that moment of revelation where he's freeing himself from. It's a sort of a moment of ascension, you know.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Oh, here we are. Hello, Cosmetti.
Hey, Kay.
Can we hear her? I think you might have an audio problem, Cosmetti. We can't hear you at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Morgan's armor is so creepy.
Yeah, I think it's that sort of they've gone with the idea of the Green Knight and also the idea of, you know, Roman statues and things like Roman armor.
Yeah, that's
so it's like a gladiatorial in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole, you know, armored abs. I guess Henry VIII would have done that.
Yeah.
Seeing how some of the other armor.
Well, talking about the armor, it was all handmade out of aluminium by an armorer called Terry English, who was also English, and they were custom made. Wow. So they fitted like a glove.
Like a glove.
And
you know, it's an amazing job that he's done. You know, it looks very functional.
They said that the thing I watched yesterday, that they were planning on doing about 13 or 14 sort of armors, and they ended up making over 100.
Oh man.
Wow. But it just looks awesome. Like, I mean, they did a great job.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I keep having like whiplash because I'm just thinking of a movie that I did grow up with you know, the making fun of this whole epic arc in the Holy Grail flying circus thing, and then just seeing it done so earnestly here. A few years later is still, I still can't get my head around that. Like, what are you making fun of in 1975?
Yeah,
because you're not making fun of this yet, you know.
No. And that was the last, the only other last of the Round Table Knight Urans. I think he said he was. He's told him that now that Percival is the last of the entire lot. And this is where Percival finds Lancelot, who by this time has become a wild preacher, like a John the Baptist character.
Oh, yeah.
He's like a crazy preacher out in the wilderness.
Oh, how neat. Wow.
You know,
and I love the way they portray him, because he's look at what he's like. Look at what
Oh, how fun is that?
Yeah, look at what he's like now. You see, he's gone full Jim Carrey.
He looks like the street preacher from Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah. Well, they copied this idea. They copied this. This is a seminal movie, and you see the green light is on the graves. So like death. The earth is crying out because it's in pain. It's diseased. But the idea of water as a purifying force, water as the renewing and the rejuvenation of energy through water, because that's where the sword come from. The sword was remade in the water. So Parsifal falls into the stream, and by falling into the stream, he's rejuvenated and reborn, which again is the idea of baptism.
Yeah.
Just how filthy his armor is too. Like it's just
and his armor becomes clean again.
Yeah, and it's cleaning up, which is neat.
This scene here, Tony, where he takes the armor off, and this is the transformative scene where it's like he's letting go of the weight of sin.
Yes.
And all of the things that weighed him down because he's been in so much pain for so long. And it's this moment of revelation for him because he now knows the mystery of the Grail.
Just putting it out there, I could not hold my breath that long while taking armor off underwater.
Yeah.
Flash is in the chat. He says, Morgana became all the things she was fighting against, even repeating the sins of her father.
Yeah.
You see how never-endingly determined Percival is.
Yeah.
He never gives up, ever. That is diligence. That's endurance. Never, ever gives up.
So he had to find the secret of the Grail.
Yes.
And yet, so he just saw Lancelot with the Grail, right?
Yeah, so he's seen Lancelot. Even Lancelot has fallen. And the only one who's it's like as if he has been chosen to carry the light. Everything else has fallen. He is the very last. In a sense, Percival is the Elijah. So
interesting.
Percival is like the Elijah character. He is the last of the last of the last. So, who am I? You're my Lord and King. And the secret is you and the land are one. And now, because the mystery is solved, the next scene is him holding out the cup.
Oh, interesting. And that's not the same. I guess Lancelot's cup was just a cup.
Yeah, it's funny because Terry Gilliam you talk about Monty Python. Terry Gilliam completely ripped this whole scene for The Fisher King that he directed years later. Yeah,
that's a really good movie.
Yeah,
I think Percival chose wisely.
It's not exactly the cup of a carpenter.
Yeah, very good point. Well, who's a good carpenter?
It's a cup of a very wealthy carpenter. Or maybe it's the cup of the carpenters.
Ooh.
They've only just begun.
So timestamp wise, we're at 1:55, just over 1 hour 55. We're almost. Can you believe we're almost through this movie? Almost through. Because Metty's here with us in the show, but I can't hear her. I think she might have sound issues.
You can't hear me?
I can just about hear you.
You're low.
Can you try and boost your audio a bit? How can we boost?
Or go back if you had a previous. If you go to cam/mic and make sure your audio settings are where you want it. Sometimes
I'm trying to figure out whether I can do this. Switch. I can't really. Can I increase the mic? This bit here is again the repetition of the Carmina Burana tune from earlier, indicating victory, because once again Arthur is reborn. And this is the final battle. This is the Armageddon, right? Because you've got the remnants of the King Arthur going to fight Mordred's army. And as they go, can you see that the earth is coming back to life again?
Yeah.
Green is coming. The blossom is back on the trees. This is Cosmetti's apple farm, by the way. Apple orchard.
You know, flash
this scene. I don't know how they got this scene. They must have had him on a carriage or something. But this is so this is incredible, this whole sequence. So the life has come back to the earth, life has come back to the land.
Yeah.
Wow.
Flash says, but it's hard to drink from a plate.
Oh,
yes,
you gotta get
cup is almost like a plate.
Well, yeah, you gotta get the comment before that.
Yeah. And so we have this final meeting before this is the night before the battle.
The night before.
And he wants to go to the nunnery.
Oh.
To see Guinevere.
Okay, now hold on a minute.
Because that's where he's kept Excalibur.
How did Monty Python hit all these things before this movie was made?
You can see what I'm
because it's Thomas Mallory. That's why. It's just just a book.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Matt. Yeah. This is amazing.
Naughty.
Yes.
You can see the cross and sword like imagery.
Yes. Are we thinking about? We have an entire nunnery full of virgins between the ages of 18 and 25.
We've been very naughty. You must spank us.
Yes, a spanking.
yes.
Etc. Anyway, Guinevere's wearing the garb of peace, so to speak.
I'm wearing the same outfit. What are you talking about? Over my armor.
Yeah.
But the only thing for Arthur to do now is to remove the fact that the power of the earth has been misused, and he knows he has to pay with his life to remove the threat that's arrived. And it's as if everything of this age, all of the old wisdom, will disappear forever. Flash says from the chat, spoilers, this movie has an ending so the cops don't show up to arrest Arthur. Yes. Well, stop everything. You're under arrest, mate.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Why did you leave, Elrod? Come back.
I remember the first time I saw the Holy Grail, I was so angry at that.
I was a kid and I thought, what's going on? And the lads who were playing the movie for me were like 5 years older, because I used to hang around with kids like older than me all the time because they were into D&D and stuff. And they said, "Oh, have you never seen a Monty Python movie before?" I said, "No." What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're at 1 hour 59. We're almost at 2 hours. Now, can you see how he's just used the term there? It is a dream we have. So he's speaking like Merlin. So it's as if he's reached pinnacle now. He's reached the point that he's now almost maybe as wise as Merlin.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we've lost Cosmetti. I'm sorry, Cosmetti. Yeah. I think she's dropped out there. She had some audio issues. And again, we have a stone circle in the background there.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to picture what Lord of the Rings would have been like in 1981. And I think it would have been pretty charming in a way, but just so, almost.
Yeah, it would have been more tangible because there wouldn't have been this reliance on CGI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to be honest, I think it would have been an interpretation closer to Tolkien's heart, to be honest.
They're planning on doing all three at once, though, as like one big film, and I don't know if it would work.
To be honest, I think the most authentic renditions of Tolkien are fan renditions.
Those exist? Wow.
There's a couple of really good ones, like the Horn of Gondor. It's a good one. Now look how he calls on the stones, and Merlin does hear him. This is actually sort of like the theory of memory in stones, because they have iron particles in them, and the iron actually aligns in a certain way if it's exposed to magnetic force. So I don't want to go all new agey, because I'm not really a new ager or anything like that, but there's this theory of, you know, memory, magnetic memory, and all this kind of thing. So he's calling to the earth, and Merlin is replying. See, there's something more about Arthur than anyone else.
Yeah.
And he's actually brought him back. I am a dream, he says, but to some I am a nightmare. It's a beautiful scene, this, because it's as if he's been resurrected right at the end of the film, because a ghost speaks to a man who is about to die. I'm sorry, spoilers, but you know, it's obvious. Because Metty looks like I am back in the chat. No audio. No. And she says, a dream to some, a nightmare to others. My favorite line. It is a fantastic line. Absolutely beautiful line. And our very own Ralph says, I'm sorry, you're a ton of fun to have in the audio with us. We're going to have to find out what we're going to have to find out what the audio problems were there.
We gotta work out getting her a good headset or a good mic.
Well, whatever's causing the audio problems and the dropouts, I think it's possibly internet problems.
I know my when I'm in StreamYard, sometimes it'll switch me over.
Have you seen this, Matt? Look at this, Matt. He's Merlin has been brought back as a bit of a force ghost, you could say. He's wandering around and looking at everybody like Mordred, etc. No one can see him, and he's there, but he's there in spirit form.
So he's kind of been activated from his stone prison?
From his sleep, and now he is simply a magical force. And now he's seen, steel, Basque thing. Now, of course, Morgana is young, even though by this time she'd be an old woman, or old, at least the same age as Guinevere.
And she, you know what? The whole steel bikini,
steel bra, booby thing,
yes. Yet another thing that I think.
And disco headband.
Yeah.
It really works.
It really is a good look, isn't it? Not sure what happened at work. Fine, and then it didn't, says Cosmetti. Technology's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Well, I think Helen Mirren, I think she has to stay the same. Like, I kind of dig that, because there's kind of a unnatural magic at play, you know?
Yes, because she, as Flash said, she becomes what she hated. She's misusing the power of the earth to deny nature rather than work alongside it.
Wow.
And this horrific, I don't know if you've seen this bit before, Matt, but I'll warn you now, this scene coming up soon is horrific. It is a fitting punishment, because just how she punished him and sent him into prison.
Yeah.
He is now, this is the moment where Merlin gets revenge upon her using the same method. So this is Merlin's revenge moment.
Ooh, is that anything like Montezuma's revenge?
Indeed. So he's getting her, tricking her exactly the same way. And essentially, she leaks all of her magic power. And it comes out there like she's having a cigar, but you can't see.
Oh, Helen Mirren vapes.
So Merlin uses the same trick on her with the charm of making. Exactly, Cosmetti. And if your technology was working, Cosmetti, you would be here saying that right now. So we're going to get your technology sorted out for next time. Look at that. She's really going for it there. It's like, I don't know how they did that scene, but she's like smoking like 3 packs of Lucky Strikes a second. It's like 60 Lucky Strikes in 1 second. Blah!
It was the 80s. Everybody smoked back then.
That is very true.
Well, little known fact. Helen Mirren was not averse to the old cocaine parties in her youth.
Well, it was the 80s.
Very checkered past. So now, can you see by the way how the armor, as I said earlier, has now reverted back to this black horned primitive armor again? And whereas there was a green light, wherever Morgana is, there's a red light.
Ooh. Yes.
And there's the horrific thing that she's aged rapidly.
Oh, bingo wing.
And now she is hideously old. And now Mordred's just murdered her. Because Mordred is a complete psycho.
Yeah.
Mordred can't stand the sight of aging and death. He has absolutely no conscience whatsoever. So I would say he's on the scale.
Yeah, man, I think he probably needs to join a program.
That is the worst. That is the most scary, horrible, uncomfortable scene in the whole movie, as far as I'm concerned, anyway.
Yeah, he just jumps right in. He's like, I only have one option that I'm pursuing right now.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna kill her. Wow.
You see, there's also an illusion that in some way Mordred is trying to be like Lancelot because he's got like a harpoon, or he's trying to be the harpooner of the. I don't know. It's a strange.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Arthur's army is outnumbered, but they use the force of nature. So again, remember I said about the smoke, the early part of the movie. So they're using the smoke, the force of nature, to hide their numbers and to attack. And they've taken Mordred's army by surprise as a result.
Good tactic.
And
if only they had the holy hand and grenade of Antioch.
Yes. Yeah. Thou shalt not count 1 or 2. And 4
is right out of there.
5 is right out.
Thou shalt count the 3. And 3 shall be the number of thine counting.
So 1, 2,
that's
4, no, 3.
So we're just over 2 hours 9 minutes, and because Matty says, "I'll run him as Flash." Oh yes, I've missed a couple of bits in the chat here. Story time. Yes, and then I did this whole dialogue about Mordred's armor and Apollyon and wondered why everyone was ignoring me.
No.
Yeah, sorry, Cosmetti, your audio went completely. Now, here we go from nowhere. Lancelot has turned up.
Oof.
And as
Lancelot.
At the crucial time he's turned up, and of course he's the best ever knight. So this is his moment of redemption. From absolutely nowhere he turns up.
I'm just thinking of Lancelot from Holy Grail, where he just appears and goes, "Ha!" and just stabs.
Yeah. Well, again, the Star Wars movies ripped off the whole idea of Lancelot and Arthur.
Yeah.
There's some memes where there's literally scene for scene it's totally copied. But you see how Lancelot's changed now. He's just whacking the crud out of people with a mace.
Well, and
now he's going in with a sword. But it's like there's no finery to him anymore, and he's still got the old wound.
Well, that and the his armor is very dark and dingy,
dark and dull,
leather clad,
and he's just like a grotesque force, isn't he? It's just brute strength.
He's a wild man. Yeah.
He was
so what do you think of that then? I mean, what are they trying to say through that? It's like as if the knowledge and finery is gone now, and we've returned to a brutish time.
Yes. Yeah. I think that sums it up very well. It's a reversion back, from enlightenment.
And this is Lancelot's moment of redemption on the battlefield. And his redemption and resurrection. So
I feel like there was a scene that was skipped where Lancelot gets but
possibly fine. I mean, we know that there's a lot of scenes that were, because it was 3 hours long, and they've cut about 40 minutes out of it.
Oh wow.
So a lot was and so he dies knowing that he's restored and Guinevere is safe. The last 10 minutes of the movie is purely the point where the price has to be paid. And that doesn't happen in modern films because nobody's guilty of anything in the modern world, apparently.
Yeah, and
they seem to be afraid to do that now.
Wow.
It's like,
yeah,
we can't do that. The hero has to be the hero.
Nobody is at fault for anything, and look at that scene there with the red sun. And both of them impale each other at the same time.
It's like a Kurosawa.
It is very much so. Very, very much so. Yeah, very much so. And I was just thinking as well, Lancelot as the swordsman is very much the illusion that goes back to Seven Samurai. There's one of the Seven Samurai who's the ideal swordsman.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the moment of Mordred's death was literally a second. Do you notice that? There was no contest.
Yeah.
Arthur just stuck him in, and that was it.
Yeah.
He didn't put up a threat at all, because the earth is returning to Arthur now. Arthur has the power, and he has to have.
You said it was the price that needed to be paid as well.
Yeah, and so now he sends Percival off to find somewhere to cast the sword back into.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's dying, so the sword has to be returned to where it came from. Because there's no one fitting right now. And he knows if somebody gets that sword, they're going to use it for ill. Which, again, is a bit like the ring in Tolkien. If somebody gets that ring of power, they're going to misuse it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you can absolutely see the similarities between them.
And
how interesting.
Quite fitting now. You've got Siegfried's funeral march, which is very fitting now because Arthur is dying. So he goes to cast it in. Percival, the pure of heart, who always does what he's told, and even he can't do this. He can't cast it away. And he goes back to the battlefield. He just can't do it. And this last 5 minutes of the movie is heartrending, you know?
Wow.
And the red sun, which signifies the end of an age. It's literally the sun is setting on this age.
That's great. And Arthur's just sitting there.
Yep.
Did you get rid of the sword?
Very operatic.
Yep. And this is about sacrificing when you don't want to, having to make sacrifices. to avoid further bloodshed.
They should have lost. Yeah, you have to lose Excalibur so that it can be found.
You have
again.
to prepare to give up your advantage in order to guarantee.
Yeah.
He's sorry. Go ahead there, Ralph.
I was just going to say, I think it comes back to I'm not sure if it was Tony or Matt that brought up about the modern cinema not understanding characters have
doesn't
flaws,
understand sacrifice
heroes.
either.
Yeah, they don't understand the sacrifice.
No,
that kind of thing.
Watch this. The Lady of the Lake catches the sword. There we go. And the cycle is complete.
Yep. And Cosmetti called that one right.
Yep. Just put
it's no more green anywhere.
She said
no more green. That's isn't. True.
Just I have Scott, she says. Good catch.
Yes.
We're gonna have to sort out Cosmetti's technical problems for next time.
Yeah,
and this is beautiful, the scene. Now there is a purple light there, and this is the ship taking him away. And you see these maidens, and this is so pre-Raphaelite. This scene is just, you can see like Rennie McIntosh or Mucha or anything. Like the pre-Raphaelite Art Nouveau style, the way that was done there, which is very much a thing in the late 1800s. Well, what a flick! What a tremendous! One of the best movies ever made, without a shadow of any doubt.
That's wonderful. It's so like what a big, just an opera stage play.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. It leaves you with a tingle factor. It really is. Great. It's a high point in cinema.
But
absolutely.
But what happened in Excalibur 2?
This time it's personal.
Excalibur 2. Search for the sword.
Sylvester Stallone in Excalibur 2. Coming for you now. I'm going to get you.
That reminds me of the line from Spaceballs. Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money.
Yes. The Schwartz. Yogurt was great.
What we were talking about before about like lack of characters having that sort of something they have to give up, or something that they I don't know why Hollywood now just can't do that, because I find those are the characters that are more interesting, the ones that have flaws, the ones who have to overcome the flaws to be a better person. And they just seem to they're so lazy.
Well, flaws, I think a big chunk of it is lazy, and I wonder how much of it is they're afraid they're going to offend somebody. Because you need flaws that characters overcome. You need sacrifice, and all of that adds to growth.
The thing too is about that is that the audience aren't idiots.
No.
Why did they have faith in the audience to basically understand what they're saying, what they're getting? It's like people aren't.
I think it opens up an interesting debate about whether it's a lack of faith in the audience or deliberate dumbing down of the audience. 50-50. I think personally that, at least from a film production point of view, if, like Jen Psaki, you lower your expectations, then you don't have to work as hard to produce decent movies.
I think that has something to do with it. Because other characters that don't have anything to sacrifice are dull. Characters that don't bleed or like go through absolute hell, and believe me, everyone in this movie went through absolute hell as characters to get to the end. So it's like they're the characters that are great. They're the ones who will actually you'll remember them because of all of what they've gone through. And that's why this is such a good story, because it is about honor and sacrifice and loyalty and all the good stuff that's in stories.
Yeah, Sorry, go ahead, Tony. Sorry, go ahead, Ralph.
No, Ralph. Sorry, yeah, Ralph.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, and I'm completely with you. There's a reason why this story is held up for hundreds of years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. I think the it's a movie which is evergreen. This movie is never going to age. I mean, every time I've seen it, and Cosmetti said quite rightly, she's seen it so many times because she said there, Pete has it there. There we go. Because it's basically a movie, and our own Ralph says we may need to work out a shipment fee. Absolutely. But yeah, this movie is. I don't believe there is an example of a perfect movie, but I think this movie gets extremely close to being a perfect movie. Mm-hmm. And it is almost perfect. And it will never, ever age, in my opinion, because it is true to the original theme of La Mort d'Arthur. And yes, it's idealism, but it is a moral tale, and it's a moral tale about consequences, about weakness, and about going ahead and paying the price and facing responsibility and going through with what needs to be done, and nobility, and also the real meaning of nobility, which is endeavoring to live a moral life and being conscious of when you've done something wrong, and endeavoring to live in a way where when you've made mistakes, you recognize the mistakes you've made. And
which is why Arthur is so good in this, because of that. Like, as you pointed out, during the fight with Lancelot, and he technically cheats and straight away realizes, what have I done? This is not the right way, and
this
throws
is it.
The sword away. And as you said, a lesson was learned, but he also learned it himself straight away. It wasn't like someone told him, "Oh, you shouldn't cheat." He realized on his own volition that he was wrong, and that's another thing they don't do with characters these days, is make characters wrong.
Yeah. Well, the whole idea of anybody actually being wrong has gone out of the window completely.
Yeah, it's like, because it's something to overcome, it's something to learn, it's something to realize that, you don't know everything, you aren't given all the facts, you have to work it out yourself, and that's why Arthur is great in this. That's another thing I was going to point out too, but I'll keep going. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say next.
So I'm going to ask for some last thoughts from everybody, and then after that I'll just do some very quick tie up at the end there that I'll usually do at the end, as you know. So Matt, overall thoughts?
I've never seen this movie. I wasn't sure if I'd never seen it, and I'm certain I haven't until this night, and it was it was really brilliant, and I liked. I thought that they were going to adapt it for I don't know. Again, like, I thought I was confusing it with a legend or something. I thought maybe they were going to adapt it to just be a popular popcorn kind of flick with extra shiny armor or something. And turns out they got like a lot of the best 80s British talent there was out there, and made something very operatic and very earnest, and spared no expense on the storytelling. So all the effects feel, I guess you just believe it all because of that. And one last note, there was a guy at the beginning. He was the redhead guy with the beard, Clive Swift. Speaking of people who get brutalized, I just know where I recognize him from. He was the henpecked husband in Keeping Up Appearances.
Yes. I wonder whether you are really up on British comedies and everything.
I lived for a bit in the Commonwealth.
So Bouquet. She's called Bucket, but she calls herself Bouquet. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know. That's such a bizarre.
Yeah, he got
like
beat up in
off.
that.
I didn't. I had no idea you would actually make that connection. I mean, I know because I grew up here, but but I mean, to me, it's this movie is like a work of art. It's so well made that it looks like, especially that I love that last scene. To me, it's like as if somebody took a Charles Rennie Mackintosh, or they took a William Morris piece of art and they made it into a movie.
Yeah.
Because the modern art and that late Victorian period of Art Nouveau, and well, even before that, the sort of pre-Raphaelite movement. I love pre-Raphaelite art, and they've essentially because Bowman I know likes pre-Raphaelite art. He took that and he just made it into a movie, and the whole thing. Yes, it does look a bit 70s. But it also looks so beautiful, and you can tell that he's been inspired by works of art as well when he's done this. And aesthetically speaking, that's one of the reasons why it's evergreen. It's not just well made, but it's visually it's beautiful, Any last thoughts, and Ralph?
Well, a couple of things that I wanted to piggyback on is, we talked about idealism, and I think that's a great thing that I don't understand why we don't strive for. Is the idea is we should be constantly improving, constantly trying to get better, and presenting characters that can, like we said several times, overcome things, grow, become better than they were. That's, as humans, that's what we should all be striving for.
Definitely.
And I'm extraordinarily grateful that they didn't green screen or blue screen large chunks of this movie. Since it was practical, it was shot in a logical way. It's one that's going to stand the test of time.
Excellent. And finally, Tony, any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, I agree exactly what Ralph said. It will stand the test of time. I understand why Cosmedio loves this film so much too, because this is only the second time I've ever watched it. So sitting through it this time around as an adult instead of like a teenager, I don't get fidgety in movies anymore. I want to sit down and watch something that's long. So sometimes the longer the better. I mean, I sat through 2.5 hours of Dune the other day, loved it. So it will stand the test of time. The fact, as you said, practical effects, beautifully shot, beautifully acted, gorgeous music. It's it pretty much has a tick in every box. I can understand people who'd go, "Oh, I don't really care for the Arthurian legend or whatever," and not like it. All right, fine, but I can't see someone watching that from the standpoint of, as you said, art and not appreciating it.
Yes.
It's just, it swings for the fences, and it knocks it out of the park. It just,
and I'm sorry, I wanted to piggyback on, and I'm sorry for stealing a little of your time. The fact that there is symbolism in there it's in there, you can recognize it, but it doesn't beat you over the head.
I love the I also like the to riff on Lucas again, of the whole it's like poetry, it's in stanzas and stuff like that. But the fact that Uther has his arc, and then the beginning of Arthur's arc is similar, because he's like, "Oh, I really like that girl. Can you make her love me?" And it's like, no, that's not the right thing to do. I'm never doing that again. Stop it. And then sort of him coming to terms with, "Oh, okay, I got to do things on my own. I can't just have things handed to me."
Yes.
So there's similarity, yet it's different. It's because he's, as I said, he's learning from his mistakes and things like that. So there's lots of great stuff in there for that. So as I said, knocked it out of the park. Just brilliant film. I'm so happy to sit through it again.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is. I mean, it never gets old. This movie, and it's funny. This was the first movie we picked to do on this channel, and sadly, it was yeeted by YouTube straight away because there was some audio picked up. Let's hope that doesn't happen this time, but I'm sure it won't. But we talked about George Lucas. Actually, I found a bit of information, which is not only did Liam Neeson star as Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn 18 years later in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, which was released in 1999, George Lucas, who we know is the writer-director of Star Wars, has cited the legend of King Arthur as one of his influences behind Star Wars. Basically, what he's really wanting to say is, I just ripped this off. Some interesting.
The lightsaber is Excalibur.
Yeah, well, this is it exactly, because the way Excalibur cuts through everything, he's just a rip-off artist. But I mean, a couple of quick facts: Max von Sydow was considered for the role of Merlin. Now that would have been awesome too. Yeah, that would have worked.
Yeah,
but I think
they picked a very similar guy. In a way.
He basically played that part in Flash, didn't he? Flash Gordon.
Yeah,
and he played Ming because he had the head thing on there, didn't he? I'm sure that was a rip. Do you know when did Flash come out? Did it
1980?
A year before.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I mean, the similarity between Merlin and his headpiece and Ming, very, very similar.
The whole time I was sitting there going, I know that headpiece.
This
from
is
somewhere else.
reminiscent of somewhere, yeah.
It was black instead of shiny, but
yeah, exactly. But it was still shiny. But the other thing was Liam Neeson had never ridden a horse. For an Irishman, that's unusual. But he'd never ridden a horse before he starred in this movie. All of the forest scenes in the movie were filmed 1 mile from John Bowman's house because he was lazy. So
I gotta respect that.
And also, there were some dogs in the movie which were seemingly ferocious, but weren't ferocious enough. So John Bowman sacked the dogs. Get out of here, dogs. You're not ferocious enough. And another quick fact, the last quick fact before we go. The same, I can't even say this, I love it. I didn't even know this movie existed before Flash told me. Knight Riders in 1981, a movie that mixes motorbikes with medieval costumes.
Man.
Was released in the same year as this movie.
That's dreadful.
That movie has vanished into obscurity, whereas this movie has become a cult classic.
We might have to drag that one out for my channel.
Living, of course, he's living. If he's still listening, if Flash is still listening, he might be willing to give us some facts about that. John William Waterhouse is a film. Yes, absolutely, Cosmetti. It is so aesthetically pleasing, which is another thing, Tony, that we've lost over the years, and that's been deliberately done. I believe that's been deliberately done. That we are not allowed to have aesthetically pleasing things anymore. However, we have this stuff still, and that's why we watch it. So some quick, very, very quick facts before we go in the last minute before we end the show. Critical reception to this movie. It was released on the weekend of the 10th to 12th of April 1981, 40 years ago. It eventually earned almost $35 million in the US. I don't give a shit what it says on Rotten Tomatoes. Move past that. Move past that. Filtering anything that says New York. But yeah, the others have praised the entire film, saying it's a near perfect, as I said, didn't it? A near perfect blend of action, romance, fantasy, and philosophy. John Bowman's magnificent magical Excalibur is, to my mind, the greatest and richest of screen incarnations of the oft-told tale. It is. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But this is really the closest you're ever going to get.
It is a great version of it. I mean, thinking off the top of my head of other versions of the Arthurian tale, the King Arthur movie, the bloody Clive Owen, and that was it. It's okay. But it's not.
It's an interesting historically more accurate, you could say, because of the origins. And of course, I like it because it's about Roman wall, and that's near where I live. But I mean,
pretty much. But yeah, there's that terrible Knight's Tale. Was it Knight's Tale?
That's awful.
Oh,
First night.
Yeah,
was
first
awful
night.
with Richard Gere. Just
That's what I was. I thought
yes.
this was that movie.
Oh no!
But you know the funny thing, another weird and wonderful thing about this movie is that it was John Boorman deliberately picked a cast of unknowns apart from Nick Holman, the guy who who plays
Merlin.
Gandalf, for want of a better word, Merlin. He picked a cast of unknowns, but the weird and wonderful happy accident that took place was that this movie was so successful, it launched the careers of a lot of characters, and all of these actors became famous. Helen Mirren, Patrick Stewart, Liam Neeson, Gabriel Byrne, and Ciarán Hinds, and obviously Nicole Williamson received widespread acclaim as well. So it was a launch pad for all of these actors. So tremendous thing for all of these actors to be in this movie. And the person who did the cinematography, Alex Thompson, was nominated for Best Cinematography. Also, Boorman won the prize for Best Artistic Contribution, nominated for the Palme d'Or in 1981. Didn't win it, but he was nominated. But certainly people recognized the artistic value of the movie, definitely. And yeah, so it's had a permanent effect on culture. And it remains today one of the most prominent cult classics of cinema history. It's never gonna go out of fashion. I say evergreen, not just evergreen. It's got a green light all the way. I'm gonna do the Trump thing. It's so evergreen. It's got green through the whole thing. More green than anybody else's green. Get out of here, Space Boss. So anyway. So on that note, thank you very much to my co-hosts. I should quickly mention, Cosmetti said here, Patrick Stewart was established already. Apologies, Cosmetti. Was June out before this movie?
No, June was 84. But he had done theatre and he'd done.
That's
he's a big
fine.
Theatre actor.
Fine. I stand corrected. This is why we need Cosmetti. I think I Claudius launched Stewart, but most of the cast is pretty good. Yeah, I Claudius is a fan, unbelievably good.
So good.
So, well, Flash, thank you for joining. He's already left for other endeavors as well, but he'll be back in another show, I'm sure. And Cosmetti, sorry about your technical issues, and we're going to have to get that sorted out and have you back on the show. It's been a delight to have Tony on the show, who's normally in the chat. Fantastic. Really enjoy being here, Tony. And of course, it's been so fabulous to get back in touch and connect again with Matt Krotz, author of Kiri. Yeah. It's so good to have you on the show, Matt. It's been too long.
It's great to hang out. I've been missing you guys.
Absolutely. And of course, the man who's been on Alpha Form all night, he's here all week. Don't forget to tip the waitress. Is Ralph, who is the cement of this show, and we couldn't do it without him. And so thank you to everybody and of course Chaos, who was in the chat earlier. And thank you to everybody who's watched, everybody who's contributed. And it's been a tremendous celebration of the 2,000 subscribers on the channel. What a fantastic movie to watch. I don't know how we're going to better this one. I really don't. But to everybody who's watched live, and everybody who will watch recorded, and all my co-hosts tonight, I have so much appreciation for all the time you spent here tonight. It's been a real blessing. And thank you to everybody. And to everybody, a very good night.
Good night.
See ya.